Cool, man. Welcome. Thanks for coming.
Welcome. No, I appreciate that.
Well, thanks.
You tried to get me on a couple of times and I wasn't sure, and then I was like, fuck it. I'll jump on, get this done.
Fuck it, yeah. Need
Come
some
in, have a
buses.
laugh.
Need some naval representatives.
Oh, I don't know if I'm the best for that, but there you go.
You'll do. I'll tell you what I can get it.
Exactly. It can only get better from here.
I had one junior sailor that had a fucking few incidents.
Yeah.
That was my first podcast.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how far I'll go. Don't want to incriminate myself. So, but yeah. So if we need to take breaks and stuff and everything else, just say, gone for a piss, gone for a shit, and then you'll edit that stuff out.
Yeah.
Yeah. You won't edit that bit out. You'll keep that bit in.
What you just said then?
Yeah.
Generally, I'll leave that, oh man, I need to piss in so people know why there's a weird pause in the conversation. But yeah, I'll cut out the waiting time while you are doing the piss.
Fair enough.
Listen to the fucking into the toilet bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So tell us about yourself, man. Fucking old. They called you Irish in the Navy, didn't they?
They called me Irish. Oh, that's a fucking long story, but may as well go back to the beginning. Obviously with the accent, come from Scotland. Spent about 17 years of my life growing up over there, and then moved to Australia with the family back in 2006. Obviously 36 now, so lived over half my life here in Australia. But yeah, like Scotland is still my home. And in Scotland, we say home is where the heart is. So, always belonged to it. But yeah, growing up back in Scotland was fucking brilliant. Like, I had an amazing childhood.
In a big city over there? Or what?
No. So I come from a coastal town, a wee town called Irvine, which was famous for an old Scottish poet called Robert Burns. None of you guys will know who he is, but pretty famous in Scotland.
Sure, there'll be some Scottish fans out there.
Yeah, maybe. If anyone knows what a Burns supper is, then it's where we do the oath to the haggis, and sometime in January or February it is, and you drink whiskey and eat haggis, and people recite Burns poetry. Sounds a bit gay, but...
What poetry?
Burns poetry.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's where I'm from, coastal town. My dad's Irish, my mum's Scottish, she's from Glasgow, my dad's from Dublin. Growing up in the west coast of Scotland, like I said, I had a great childhood, but it wasn't without its issues. Where we grew up, sectarianism was a bit of a thing. I don't know if do you know what sectarian violence is?
No.
So I think like the best way to explain that is like, look what's going on with Palestine and Israel at the moment. That's sectarian violence, like the war and everything. It's sectarianism. It's about religion. Okay. And that was quite prevalent where I grew up in the West Coast. It was mainly to do with Catholics and Protestants. And then obviously you have your two major football clubs back in Scotland, Celtic and Rangers. And if you are a Catholic, you tend to support Celtic. If you're a Protestant, you tend to support Rangers. And there was always this little bit of a divide, and wasn't overly affected by it myself, but the old man, he grew up, dealing with it back in Dublin, like with the Troubles and things like that. Do you know what the Troubles are? Right?
Assume I know nothing. I've seen that footy movie where they have all these big gang fights and shit. I can't remember.
Oh, this has got nothing to do with gang fights. No, this is to do with the Brits trying to take over Ireland, and then you had the IRA and all that sort of stuff. So this is where all that stuff stems from.
That's about the only fucking thing I know about is
right. So all that stuff sort of stemmed this sort of sectarian violence.
William Wallace was he there?
Well, actually, it does go far back as William Wallace with Robert the Bruce, and it all started with I think it was his brother. I mean, God, I'm no fucking historian here, so don't quote me on anything, you know what I mean? But it was him that went over and invaded Ireland, and then since then, for the last 800 fucking years, Britain has been trying to take over Ireland. And then, obviously, you get Northern Ireland, which is a part of the UK, and then Republic of Ireland, which is their own fucking country. And then, anyway, all this sectarian violence is stemmed from all this history that's came before us. And then there's this little bit of a divide. Like, things are a bit better now, but you still get sort of issues and whatnot. And like I was saying before, it was a wee bit prevalent where I was in the town that I came from, especially in the west coast of Scotland. There was a bit of a divide. And like my dad, when he moved to Irvine, to rear us, like I remember this one time he came home like absolutely bloodied and battered. So he'd been out in the pub one night with his pal who was a Rangers man, and he's at this local pub, and a couple of guys were hanging out playing some pool, and they overheard my dad's accent, and they started to sort of point in his direction with his pal, and the publican has came up to my dad and his pal and just said, "Hey, look, guys, I think you should probably get out of here." You know what I mean? It looks like it's going to be a wee bit dodgy. So they ended up leaving and started walking home. And as they're walking, the guys followed them out the pub, and next thing they know, they're getting jumped, battered, and yeah, I remember my dad coming home that night, and he's shut the door because the door was locked, and my mum's answered, and he's got fucking blood all over his face, and yeah, and I remember seeing, I must have been between 8 and 10 or something, and I just remember seeing this and not understanding what's happened, but just seeing it for the first time, and going, what was this all about, And it was only later on as I got older and whatnot that you start to sort of understand where all that comes from. And yeah, would have been tough for him back then, sort of living in the West Coast. But I mean, these were few and far between issues, and it didn't happen that often. And like the guys that did beat the shit out of my dad, they got their comeuppance. One of our neighbours, I think the best way to say it is he knew some people, and he's let on what's happened, and the son and the daughter of this neighbour was like, "We know who these guys are, we'll sort it out." So people went round and got them done in, you know what I mean? So yeah,
some justice.
Yeah, a little bit of in-house justice,
street justice. Yeah, right. So it wasn't too bad when you were growing up. It was more the older sort of generation.
Oh no, like that whole, like you had mentioned before about gang violence and stuff like that. And like I don't know, we used to call them the young teens growing up, and like I was never a part of that sort of scene. But there was definitely like a lot of youth groups kicking around the streets and stuff like that, and you probably see it a bit now in Australia and whatnot, and some of the
down in Melbourne and stuff.
Yeah, like or down Parramatta, whatever, or Penrith or whatever, and
machetes and fucking.
Yeah, and so back like when I was growing up, stabbing, like I think Glasgow, it was named stab capital of Europe. At the time, just it was happening all the time. Yeah,
not a good claim to fame.
No, not at all. But that's how things were, and it was very like quite often you'd be out and about and you get into trouble, and people would try. Like there was one time, me and my pals got cornered by a group of youths, and there was about 15 of them, and there was only 5 of us, and we all got trapped in this alleyway at this school, and this guy's pulled out a meat cleaver from the front of his trousers, and he's just brandished it, and he's gone, "But Wannies are going to die tonight, boys." And I'm at the front of the group, and I just went, "Fuck this," and just bolted. So I ran straight past him, and as I ran, I pushed my brother out the way. As I pushed him, there's this little 12-year-old, 13-year-old boy with a broken glass bottle trying to stab my brother. Right. And then as I ran, this guy's turned around and he's lobbed the meat cleaver, and it smacked me in the back, and I've just decked it. And the boys have just went, "Fucking hell, Sean's dead." Oh, fuck. Some guys lobbed a brick and it smacked my mate in the head. And anyway, I've got back up, and we've managed to run away and get out of it. And yeah, like everything was all right after the fact. But
so it's just a blunt side of the meat cleaver that smacked you?
Blunt side, yeah. Took found out who it was. We knew who it was anyway. Took the guy to court. I think all he got was community service or something. You know what I mean? That's how common it was back home, that the penalties and punishments, if it didn't directly
half an inch of rotation and you'd be fucking.
Whereas if that was here in Australia, you'd be in jail. You know what I mean? Yeah, the book would be slammed at you.
Fucking hope so.
Yeah. So yeah, there was definitely a fair bit of that growing up. So I think that always created a little bit of an awareness. It's probably carried on a little bit to this day, sort of thing. But definitely I started back then.
Street smart.
Yeah, that's it. Always got an eye out to see what's going on, and you're always clocking people and stuff like that,
Yeah,
so,
it's not a bad thing. Fucking I grew up, I'm pretty fucking street kiddie myself, and just having that knowledge of not everybody's a good cunt. You can't just fucking la-di-da through the world and expect that nothing.
Yeah, and that's it.
Can get pretty fucking ugly.
Yeah, that's it. And I think when you have like several occasions where either you've been jumped or had the shit kicked out of you or something dumb's happened or you've been king hit or whatever, you tend to kind of grow up with a little bit of a third eye in the back of your head, and you're always just watching what's going on and
a little bit skeptical of people's intentions and stuff.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the missus is always just like, why are you looking around all the time, you know? And it's just like, focus on the conversation. I'm just like, oh no, what are you talking about?
People talk about that hypervigilance with the military, but I think it's more my background and upbringing that fucking makes me fucking scope out a room, you know.
I think that's
see where the threats are. And
I think that's where it comes from, and I think what I've learned as time has went on is that if you don't address or deal with it, or if you're constantly under that perception of threat growing up, then that's something that sort of lives with you. And then I think when you're in the military, and again, this is something that I've learned, through counselling and stuff like that, that when you are exposed to such extreme violence at a young age, and then as you grow up and then more and more things happen, and then when you're in the military and then you're exposed to the same sort of stuff, you know, you kind of it's really hard to switch off, you know what I mean?
Normalises it.
That's it, you know.
So you got you're talking about your brother. Is that your only sibling?
No, I've got 4 brothers. So
holy fuck.
Yeah, I've got a twin brother, and then I got a middle brother, Michael. So my twin Scott, Michael's in the middle, he's what, 33 or something. And then I've got 2 younger brothers that are twins as well, Ross and Connor. My poor mum. My mum's like fucking 5 foot nothing as well, you know. And fucking.
They got 2 twins.
Yeah,
2 brothers.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the fucking Irish. You know what I mean? He couldn't keep it in his pants. I don't think they're allowed to use Johnny's back in the day.
Fucking hell, you remember me spewing too? That was the last job where we'll have one. We'll have one more, and then 2 popped out.
Yeah, I think it was Michael was the last one, and then Ross and Connor might have been accidents. I know we were definitely accidents. We were never meant to be, you know. So
you're the first 2, right?
Yeah. Mum and Dad met in Greece, and then about a year later, they randomly bumped into each other again in London, and then they got absolutely tanked one night, and then we were conceived. And then the story goes something like my mum had to then reach out to him to let him know that she was pregnant, and so she's moved back up to Irvine or Glasgow or something back then, and then obviously she's told my dad's still working in London, and then his mum in Dublin has called him and just like, you better get your fucking self up to fucking Irvine now and look after that wee woman. You know what I mean? And that's all she wrote, and they're still together to this day.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so fair play to him, you know.
Where'd the rest of the kids end up?
So they're all in Western Australia at the moment. So yeah, all my brothers and my whole family live over in WA. That's where we first moved to when we moved. So yeah,
we're pretty close knit.
Yeah, we're pretty tight. Yeah,
was the one that's not a twin feel left out because he doesn't have a twin?
No, he's got the dog. So he's good.
I remember you telling me that story once of you fucking calling your brother gay on Call of Duty, and he got you banned. That's fucking hilarious. Got a little bit of sibling rivalry.
Yeah, we're constantly at each other's throats. So it would have been after an absolute round of giving each other the biggest shit, and he would have been fed up with me. And then I think I've did a voice recording, called him a gay cunt, and then he's in. Reported me to Xbox, and then I get like a week ban or something, and he's just sitting there fat up and happy, just like, fuck you dick. I love the guy to bits, man, but we're always at each other's throats, and it's the dumbest stuff as well. The dumbest stuff.
Is that identical?
Is it fraternal? Paternal? What is it again?
Yeah, fraternal or identical.
Fraternal? Yeah, fraternal. And then, so we're fraternal, 2 separate eggs, and then the younger ones, they're identical.
Oh,
yeah. So
just five cunts look almost exactly alike.
Yeah, almost look alike, sound alike. Yeah. We had a 5-a-side football team back home. That was always a running joke.
Team,
yeah, that was always a running joke. However, we were all shy at football, so.
And did any of your brothers fucking join the military as well?
No, I was the only one. They all went in different directions. I think my twin did try to join the military, but he was severely colourblind. I think that was held against him, and then there was something else to do with his ankles as well. So, yeah. But no, so he did try, and I think that was kind of the spur for me to kind of join as well. So I guess, well, long story short, moved to Australia with the family, and then that was back 2006, I think it was, and yeah, was just bumming around for a good couple of years, just not sure what I was doing. So I was just.
Where did you move to in WA?
We moved to Joondalup first, so Little Britain, and then eventually my parents bought a house in Mindarie, and then that's where they still are, in the exact same house. So moved there. My dad came over on his. He was a joiner back home, so he came out on that. That's where he got his points. And my mum was working for the justice system back home, but she was also a registered nurse back in the day as well. And so she got out in a nursing degree, even though she didn't practice it when she came to Australia. She went back into the justice system as well. But so they've all done really well with themselves now. But back then, bit different. And obviously, 4 peely wally, white, Scottish skinned teenagers coming out to Australia. I think we moved out in January and it was fucking freezing in Scotland, snowing, and we get here and it's a January. Moved to Perth and the airport is fucking away from everything at that point in time. There was nothing built around it and it's like a desert. And so you're getting out here and you're just like, where the fuck did we move to? 40-degree heat and you're like, what the fuck is this?
Stepped out into a sauna.
Oh, not even, mate. More than that, we stepped out onto fucking Venus or something.
into the fucking depths of hell.
Yeah, literally. Kangaroos jumping around and all sorts of stuff and everyone's speaking like Crocodile Dundee.
So what you said you bummed around, so you didn't do anything? Fucking just went to school and...
Yeah, well, I applied to do geology at UWA. Got accepted, but I couldn't get HEX at the time. Wasn't a citizen, just a PR at that point. So I ended up, what did I do? Went to TAFE, did some construction thing at TAFE for a bit, and then got fed up with that and ended up working with my dad in labouring. He was working formwork at the time. So I was doing that for a fair bit, for a couple of years, and then it was kind of getting to a point where me and my dad's relationship was just sort of deteriorating a little bit. Like it was just going down the tubes. You can imagine 5 teenage boys living at home, and
who do you keep forgetting me?
Mate, the middle one.
Poor bastard.
I hope he hears us.
You said 4 a couple of times. I haven't pulled you up.
Oh, if you make a little snippet of this, I'm showing it. He's going to be like, you prick. So the relationship was starting to deteriorate a little bit. And I remember this one time. It's funny now that I look back on it. But he used to be an absolute prick in the morning. Like, you'd make his cup of tea and then you'd be leaving at like 5 a.m. or something to get to site. And he would intentionally clutch the fucking car so he'd spill it just to fucking have a go at you. You know what I mean? He was just a prick. And I remember this one time he'd spilled it and that was the final straw. And we're halfway down the freeway, down the Mitchell, heading to one of the universities just in the west side there of Perth, and he's pulled over on the freeway and he's like, that's it, get the fuck out. And he's chucked me out the car. So I'm just like, right, okay, what do I do next? And I'm like, fuck it, I'm going in. So I walk all the way to the train station and then I fucking get in the train and then I fucking get the train. Oh, it must have been a couple hours late, but I finally get onto site. And I know the lads are standing there and they're just clapping, like, well done. And then my dad comes up to me, he's like, that's it, you're fucking 3 hours late, you're docked. I was like, cunt. But that was kind of where it was at. That's where it was at. And then, just partying a fair bit.
What was he getting the shits for? Because you were being a cunt, or was he just getting jaded with life?
Probably just being a cunt. And you know, as teenagers, I was at partying every weekend and probably taking a little bit too much of the good stuff, and and it was kind of hitting that scene, and it was kind of getting to a point. I was like, fuck, I need to do something with my life, and I needed a bit of structure.
How did the Navy get into your head?
Well, I was actually trying to get to the oil and gas industry at the time, so I went back to TAFE and did some plant processing and mech engineering, and then I was trying to get out to the rigs to do plant processing, and it was just super competitive, and and it was just like one knockback after another. And like I said, my twin tried to join the Navy. He got knocked back, and then that kind of spurred.
So you did first.
Yeah, that kind of spurred my idea on, and then ended up applying, and oh god, man, when was it? It was like 2009. It must have been June, July. I sent an application over, and then got word back and did the psychometric test and all that evaluation and stuff like that. And then they came back with your list of jobs, and I was gunning for marine technician because that's kind of what I wanted to do out in the rigs. And I was like, well, you know, like this is it, sort of thing, you know. So yeah, I knew exactly what I wanted to do, you know. And then it came back with the job opening, and yeah, they were just like, well, look, you can enjoy, you can, yeah. That was like 3 months. And he goes, you can join, and so I just went, yeah, why not? Signed that little dotted line like the rest of us, and 3 months later, I was flying off to Cerberus to do basic training. So everything happened super quick.
Fucking rubbing it in your brother's face?
Oh, nah, not at all. Nah, we weren't like that back then. That came after.
So fucking, he's the only one that's colourblind.
I'm colourblind as well.
Oh yeah, just not so bad.
Yeah, well, when I was doing the getting into the bloody pus testing, and you got to do your colourblind test and whatnot, and then you get those stupid books that you got to identify the numbers and whatnot.
Ishihara.
Yeah, that's the one. And I knew I was going to do shite at it and failed it, and then I had to do an LED light test, and so I did the LED light test, and I think I was just able to pick up the slight difference when it was going from, because obviously it's red, white, green. Yeah. And then when it jumps between, the white will start to sort of turn into sort of like a pinkish sort of colour, and then you'll get a light green sort of colour. And I was just able to pick up the sort of change in colour. And when I knew that it was not as dark, then I knew it was a white. So then I was able to sort of accurately press that button. And I think that's kind of what got through. But if I failed that, then probably no chance of getting in, you know, or may have been a cook or a steward or something.
Yep. Fucking light test.
Yeah.
I got like, I think it's like 20, you get 20 goes. I think I got 0 out of 20.
Oh, really?
She literally stopped it halfway through the test and said, you are aware you've got to say the top one first and then the bottom one.
I remember that.
Like, yeah. No, I am aware.
So it wasn't the fact that you were colourblind, was it?
yeah. But like you said, you could see differences. I was like, they all looked identical.
Yeah.
I'm like, white. I was like, oh, obviously they've got to be different. So I just started guessing. I was like, red, green, red, red.
There you go.
I had fucking no idea.
Yeah, right. Fuck, fair enough.
So yeah, I'm proper colourblind.
So I've
done it twice because I did it to re-enter into the army as well. I was like, how'd you go? I don't know, because you get like, I guess you wouldn't. Oh yeah, you're colourblind as well. You kind of get used to colours, right? Like I know that fucking, you know, something's red. Well, like that's yellow because I've been told my whole life that that's fucking yellow, right?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, yeah, I can see yellow. So I thought I was getting better. I was like, over time, you know, I've started to adapt. I'm like, you know, I know what red is because I can see red because people said that's red. But yeah, did the test and yeah, exactly the same. I was fucking cooked it completely. I'm like, well, I guess I'm not any better than I was.
Yeah. At least you didn't have to go back in as a cook.
Yeah, well, fucking hell, I went admin first, which was shit. Man, the fucking recruiting, they get me every time. Like, they got me the first time with cook because I wanted to go medic.
I didn't realise you went in as admin. That's the first I've heard.
In the army I did.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Shit.
I wanted medic in the Navy.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you can wait 2 years or you can come in now as a cook. And, you know, cook's great. So it's the only job in the Navy where you come out with a qualification, you get a full cert for and fucking do your apprenticeship and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, right. Didn't tell me it was the hardest fucking job in the Navy.
Yeah.
And then when I rejoined the Army, same thing, recruiting are like, you know, I know you're colourblind, but if you want the job where you get to do all the fucking training and you get to deploy and fucking hang out with the boys and admin clerk is for you. I'm like, really?
You get stitched up.
Are you sure? They're like, yeah, fucking you need an admin clerk everywhere you go, right? And fucking, you know, the boys want to take you with them when they're doing stuff. I'm like, oh, okay. And I fucking did that for a couple of years of sitting in a fucking room staring at walls, fucking filing shit. And then I was like, and then they disbanded, gave it to ARA, gave it back to the full-timers, and they go, oh, you can fuck off or you can changed jobs. I was at uni at the time, so I fucked off and then came back.
Yeah, right, okay.
And then I joined artillery, which opened up to colourblind people.
Yeah, right, okay.
And then they fucked that off as well.
Wait, why would they open up artillery to colourblind people?
I don't know, because it's not front line, I think, because I'm not, because we're at the back.
Yeah.
And it's all colour coded and I don't know what their fucking rationale is. You know, you can't be a PTI.
If you're colourblind.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Why? What the fuck? Run to the red cone. There is no red cone, Corporal. The fucking cone right there.
Spot in yellow.
Yeah, fucking work that one out. But yeah, I don't know the real reason why you can't. Why you can't even be a grunt. Like they say, it's because pop and smoke and stuff, but it's all fucking labelled.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I guess fucking. There was one time I was doing long range shooting at the 600 meter range. And everybody's like, my groupie and I was so close. I'm like, how do you know?
Yeah.
And they're like, because when you hit a shot, the target drops.
Yeah.
And then when it pops back up, there was a red dot of where you'd hit.
And you couldn't see that red dot.
I couldn't see the red dot.
Oh, shit. Right,
so it's going up and down and I'm like, maybe I missed. Maybe I'm missing every fucking shot. I'm just trying to fucking correct. But yeah. So maybe that's why. Because when we're in the battlefield, I can't fucking see the enemy. Who knows?
Oh, man, just guess it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck it. Just guess it, man. Just start loving it.
Can't see someone red walking through the green forest.
That's exactly it. Oh, shit.
Yeah, so I did mortars because that's a fucking cool job. And then after my first fucking live fire trip, we did 10 days and did this live fire activity. And then fucking the next week we get in there like, by the way, lads, mortars are fucking giving them to infantry. So if you want to stay on mortars, you have to change corps to infantry, which you have to go through all the infantry training and stuff. Or you can stay artillery, but we're going UAV, which is you can't do it colourblind because you've got to have a CASA license.
Shit.
So I'm like, well, fuck. Now I'm fucked again.
I did not. You've never told me this shit before. There you go.
Yeah, so I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to retrain into something else.
Constantly came up against fucking brick wall after brick wall.
And just the fucking forever perpetual fucking digger as well. I'm I'm not fucking going back into being a trainee and getting treated like shit. I've been in for so many fucking years.
So many fucking times.
Yeah,
and then you were an officer as well at one point.
Yeah, I gave that a crack. Oh, that was because I thought like maybe the officers will have more of a chance to do shit.
Yep.
Because you don't need a GSO, General Service Officer. In the army, you don't, colourblindness doesn't matter, but I could be an infantry officer or engineering officer or whatever. But then, doing a couple of years and I realised that it's just a glorified fucking admin clerk. Like doing paperwork all day, every day. And then I got offered the job at Soldier Recovery Centre, but I needed to be OR. So that's when I
dropped back down to enlisted, and then
yeah. And then I could work there as a private.
That's fucking. You've literally went through so many fucking hoops and done so many different things, and then even became an officer to then drop back down to. I think I was telling one of the guys I work with about your story a little bit, and he's just like going, "What?"
So what's he done? Really nothing.
He was a cook, he was artillery, he was an officer, and then he went backwards again. You literally have tried it all, man. You know? If you want to talk to anyone about experience and what it's like in different pockets, you're the man to ask.
I did fucking Kapuka twice.
Fucking hell, man.
I did Cerberus 1.5 because I got injured so I back squatted. And I did Kapuka twice, the full Kapuka twice. And fucking that trophy. There's a SOM from my last Kapuka experience. I got Soldier of Merit, most outstanding soldier, because I basically knew how to game the system by then. I was like, I've done it so many times.
You've done it so many fucking.
I grey man my way through. Just fucking. I'll just never get in trouble for anything. Just keep my head down and fucking go. Yeah. And then last day, of course, they're like fucking. And the Soldier of Merit is Harley. I'm like.
It's just that you just knew exactly what to do. That's what it was, man. Yeah, it's been drilled into you so much that you could just float. You know what I mean? Literally grey man. That's it.
That's it.
Fucking brilliant. There you go. I didn't realise that. There you go. Love it. Learn something every day.
A little bit about me. So you joined as a stoker.
Yeah. So
how'd you go in Cerberus? Did you ever has your accent died down over the years, or like were you real fucking strong Scottish accent back then?
No, I was pretty strong back then. Yeah, it was people who really struggled to understand what I was saying, and that was really early on.
I go all right with you. I've got Scottish mates. So I'm literally every fucking sentence is like it has to be said 2 or 3 times. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Say it again, but slow down, cunt.
18 years in Australia, and I'll get the piss taken out of me for this as well, because if people listen to this that know me, they'll be picking up all the little Australian inflections that I do in my accent, and I fucking hate it. Especially when I get picked out for it, because I don't realise I'm doing it. And then
you got to dumb it down to fucking. It's annoying, fucking. You know, when I go to Canada, I mimic like I have a Canadian accent because I take the edge off the Australian, because I fucking get the shits with every single conversation is what. Yeah, for fuck's sake.
But I'm pretty sure that's what Australians do every time they go overseas and they move to another country. Yeah, you're pretty good at adapting to different accents.
It's always the Australian that gives in.
Yeah, you can do it. Where I think for me being Scottish, I mean, people have said to me that your accent isn't as strong anymore, or like if I meet people for the first time, like, your accent isn't that strong, and that fucking cuts deep. You just palm it off, you're like, yeah, okay. Yeah. Fucking cunt. You just palm it off, and but I guess to be expected, living here for 18 years. But in saying that though, my dad's got a pretty strong Irish accent, and actually all my family still have pretty strong accents. It's probably just because of joining the military. I reckon that's probably what it is. And then especially being in an environment where you really have to conform, and then or have people understand you, or if people are constantly taking the fucking piss out your accent, then you need to be able to fucking be heard. You know what I mean? So there's probably a mix of things that has happened over the years, and I reckon the Navy probably had the biggest impact in that, of making me change the way I speak just a little bit.
Well, even for us, it's all about that clear, concise fucking language and making yourself heard. So.
But I know if I go back to Scotland, the accent definitely comes back out, but then they'll even say that you're not as strong. I'm like, fuck's sakes.
That was fucking everybody. I remember my ex-wife was French, and she would like talk to her friends back in France, and they would be like laughing at her, like, "Oh, you sound funny."
Fucking hell.
I got a mate that's he's a copper. He's from England. And his missus is 100% Australian, born and raised, and she has the strongest fucking Pommy accent just from living with him.
Yeah, right. There you go.
That's kind of sad, but yeah.
That is. I don't know what it's worse, losing my Scottish accent a little bit to sound a little bit more Australian, having an English accent. I'll let you be the judge.
Well, imagine if your missus just started talking like she was born in Scotland just from living with you for a while. You'd be like...
My missus's accent shite.
Come on, you weirdo.
She tries to put a Scottish accent on, and it just comes across as fucking terrible.
Scottish is really hard to do. You get the Irish they get paid out a lot, but Scottish is a hard one to imitate.
You're watching Moblands at the moment, aren't you? So, what's his name? Buddy, the main guy, not Harry, the other one. Pierce Brosnan. He's Irish, but he's put on a Cork accent. I don't know if you've noticed that. Nah. See, picked it up straight away. Yeah. He's putting on a Cork accent in that one. It's pretty good.
Yeah, right. Fucking good show. Man. Yeah. Cool. So you fucking at Cerberus, how'd you go down there?
Yeah, good. So
how long's the fucking Stoker training after?
It's like a year on the bit, something like that.
At Cerberus?
Yeah. So I think it was October 2009 I joined. I think October the 19th, 2000, or to October the 21st. It's one of those 2 dates. And then I left Cerberus into January 2011 and went to Sydney. But that whole, I like being 21, so you got a little bit of life experience. You're not like fully fucking fledged, but you're not like a 16, 17-year-old guy that's coming in. Was it 17 you could join, or was it 16?
17, yeah.
17, right. So you're not 17 or 18, join the military. You've been around just a little bit enough just to have some experience.
Would you say, how old were you?
21. Yeah. When I joined. Yeah. And then...
Yeah, I think I was like 23 and I was like the old one on the block. Like, come on, cuz.
I think we had a guy that was 38 or something in my div.
Yeah. There's always like that. Yeah. Like super old cunt.
Yeah. What was I was Moran Division. God, this is embarrassing. I should remember. I should know this as well. Yeah. Moran 275. Moran GE275, I think I was.
Your class number.
Yeah. GE275.
No, I would never clue what mine was.
I had a fucking great time. I loved it.
It might have been 225. Yeah, I don't know.
I think I remember getting there, and I'd already shaved my head, you know, but it was proper, like it was a proper zero. It wasn't like the number 1 or 2 that they give you. I went straight down to skin.
They still charge you $10 and make you go sit up there anyway.
Probably. And then got there, and man, it was an absolute. It was hilarious. I remember doing so in Perth, you went down to Defence Plaza, whatever it was, in the city, and then and I don't even think I was smartly dressed. People were wearing shirts and all that sort of stuff. I think I was just wearing a polo shirt and trackies or something. You know, yeah. And then you had to stand there and you do whatever you're doing and you got to say your oath to the Queen. And I remember standing there, crossing my fingers behind my back. I was like, "Fuck you, bitch."
She's dead now. You can say that.
The Scottish English.
Just trying to take my country for.
I mean, she's all right, but still, you got to hold true to yourself. I'm standing there and doing that, and then jump on the plane, and then you get into Melbourne, and you would know this. This is what spun me out. I got into Melbourne Airport, and then you got some guy in uniform. I think it was actually my Kellic as well. And then he just starts screaming at everyone. And I think they know. Yeah, they know exactly who's who. You know what I mean? So he's screaming, that's it, single file. So you get all these plebs in single file and you get all of us marching through Melbourne Airport in single file with your bag to get on the bus. And then that's it. And you're just like, oh, wait, shit, this is real. This is happening.
Yeah. I remember at the baggage carousel. Yeah. I just remember getting on the bus and then you get off the bus and then it's like fucking... Welcome to the Thunderdome, cunts. This is fucking, it's on.
No, it was...
Because you're all like relaxed and like hanging out, fucking, oh, where are you from, bro? Fucking, and then all of a sudden you get off the bus and just get screamed at.
Yeah, that was it, yeah. Oh, we didn't get screamed, because we got in at night time, because obviously coming from Perth. So it was basically just get all your paperwork done.
Oh, the Perth plane came in late. Yeah, I remember that.
They sent you off to your room. I remember getting up and everyone's already there, so you're like the last people to come in.
Yeah.
You know, and then
because you go to bed and then they're like, oh, there's going to be people like those beds aren't empty; they're coming later.
Yeah, that's it. And your rack is already sorted out. I think I was a top rack. No, I was a bottom rack. That's right. Yeah. And then at the very end of the hallway as well, back left. That's where my room was. And then just going in there, and man, there was some funny people kicking around. Some little guy getting around, and he looked like a leprechaun. He was in this like bright green suit, and he's just like going up and shaking everyone's hand. And you're like, "All right, okay, pal." Turns out he was an absolute really lovely guy. At that time, you're just like, "What the fuck is going on here?"
Yeah.
So
calling everyone AB.
Oh yeah, no. He wasn't. He was fucking recruit as well.
Yeah, but when you walk in and someone fucking greets you, you're like, oh, thanks AB.
Yeah. Ah, fuck. And but yeah, that first night was obviously you can't sleep, and then next morning all you hear is the pots and pans going, and then all the Kellics are running up and down the hall, you know, banging the pots and pans.
Did you have music for fucking shake in the morning?
No, it was pots and pans.
The whole time?
Yeah, pots. Oh, I can't remember if they did the music, to be honest with you. It was a little bit of a blur.
I still, like, it rings so fucking loud in my head. I do it to my daughter sometimes when she won't get out of bed. Because, like, literally it's so ingrained to me. Who let the dogs out? Every fucking morning in recruit school, who let the dogs out that was our shake. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No, they didn't do it.
So my daughter's like, won't get out of bed. I'll get on my phone, put who let the dogs out, and I'll put it onto her speaker and then turn it up loud and then press play. Who let the dog?
Savage. That'll teach you. This is what I suffered, so you're going to have to suffer it too.
She'll remember it just like I do.
Yeah. She'll get PTSD from who let the dogs out. She'll hate that song when she's older.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
That's quality, man.
So you bro down with people?
Yeah, and ended up becoming good mates with a lot of the guys in recruit school. Everyone in my div was pretty sound. There was not too many people that you could say were kind of different or that didn't really fit in. So most people just kind of got on with it. Obviously, there was all the people that left early because they couldn't hack it. Like we had this, what was his name again? Oh, crazy. That's his name is Blank. So Seaman Star Blank. I don't think it was the first weekend.
He hadn't deserved a name yet. He hadn't earned his name.
But just Seaman Blank. And I remember the Kelly just going like this. Oh, that's rough, pal. That's rough. And I remember 2 weeks in or something, and he just broke down crying in the dorm. You know what I mean? He's just like, I can't do this anymore.
Oh, really? He fucked off?
Yeah, I don't want to be here. And then we just went, because we got fed up listening to him. So we're just like, dude, just sign the fucking dotted line and get out. Go. You're fucking pissing us off. Just every night he was crying. I'm just like, it's not that bad, mate. It's fine.
I miss my mummy.
Literally. It's a bit of a laugh, but no, everyone was sound. Yeah.
You enjoy your time in Frankston on weekends?
Yeah, Frankston, bit of a debauchery. Just, always getting pissed when you're out there. Getting that parmy stuff. But do you remember the name of the pub? Off the base, what was it called again?
Oh, the one just outside.
There's Anchorage was the one on base. And then the one off base, what was the one
just out the gate there?
Yeah.
Crib Point Hotel or something, was it?
Something like that.
There was an RSL on the back street and the one right out the side of the gate or something else. So.
Yeah. So, whatever it was called, but yeah, you go there when
chicks getting boned in the fucking in the trees out the front.
and then a week later they're getting married at the cathedral
to someone else.
I saw that happen a couple of times. Some folks that I knew get married after meeting each other.
In ITs?
Yeah, no, meet each other like recruit school, and then they go through cat school together. Yeah. And then they're getting married at the church on base. And you're just like, fuck me dead. I mean, fair play to them if they're still together now, but...
What I would fucking comfortably say 100% of them are not together.
Yeah, probably.
There's no fucking way.
But so I finished recruit school and then went into category training to do all your marine technician stuff. And that was good. Like, it was all hands-on sort of techo stuff.
It's kind of fun doing all that and getting all your coloured fucking lanyards and...
Yeah, that's it. Oh, yeah. Jeez, man, I forgot all about that. Like, there's so much shit that I forget. But doing all that and played rugby down there for Cerberus. The Cerberus Doggies. I was number 14. I've still got one of the jerseys sitting up in my closet as well, number 14. Yeah, got it at the end of Prezos as well. But played rugby when I was at cat school. And I played a little bit back when I was in high school, just a tiny bit. And then I played... Actually, that's what I did before joining the Navy. I always had to get some fitness up. So I joined the local rugby club. And then that's kind of what spurred on my passion for rugby. I ended up playing it for quite some time until the back shit itself.
You never played over in Scotland?
No, probably a little bit in high school, just at PT and stuff like that, But it was...
Did you watch it? Were you a fan or...?
No,
you literally learned about it at Cerberus.
It was always football. Yeah, I learned about it a little bit about school, but it was always football where we grew up. And then it was when I came to Australia. That's when I kind of got into rugby, and then one of my brothers have been playing rugby as well. Like, they've been playing for years. My middle brother Michael, he's jumped between second grade and first grade for Joondalup Brothers and stuff like that as well. So he's done quite well.
You didn't forget your Michael.
No, I didn't forget him this time. Shout out to Michael. He's done well in the rugby scene, so fair play to him. But so I ended up playing rugby while I was at Cerberus, and I had a blast. The lads at rugby, that was kind of what sort of honed it in, like that sort of teamwork thing, and like out with the boys and all that sort of stuff. So there was a real good vibe there, and rather than just kind of getting on the piss every weekend, you kind of had that same group of people that you could hang around with. It gave you a bit of a purpose and gave you something to look forward to during the week. So you go out training, and then you had your games at the weekend and all that sort of stuff. And I mean, to be honest, I wasn't the best fucking rugby player, you know what I mean? But I fucking loved it nonetheless, you know what I mean? So I had a good time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So your first posting was Cuttable?
No, FSU. So got out of Cerberus and then got posted straight to FSU, a fleet support unit down in Garden Island in Sydney. So I think before you leave, you pick the ships you want to serve on, and I think it was Anzacs and FFGs that I put down as my preference. And then got to FSU, and then shortly after that, a posting came up for FFGs. Yeah, and then HMAS Darwin was the first ship that I landed on.
Yeah. I'm thinking, fucking for us it was land shore postings for cooks. So yeah, obviously for you being a stoker, fucking being on the ship is your job.
And I think at the time, because we're lacking stokers, so like it was pretty easy for a stoker to get to sea at that point, you know, and being such a, you know, the numbers that you need on a ship for a stoker, like I think we had 55 out of the 200 complement or 210 complement of the ship or whatever it was. Oh mate, no, 210, 15, that was excess. I think it was a standard 190 or 184 billet ship, and then 55 of that was stokers.
Oh wow.
You know, so yeah, we make up the largest part of the ship, you know.
Fuck.
So yeah, biggest department. But it was Darwin was my first posting, and eye opener. As soon as you get out into the thick of it and you're in it, like it's all a whirlwind now looking back at it, you know. It's just like you're babyface seaman, you get your first posting, and then you get on your ship, and then next minute you're sailing off to the South China Sea, and then you're up in Guam, Japan, and and then that was kind of it, you know, just non-stop for the next sort of 7 years or whatever it was, you know.
Living the fairy tale.
Yeah.
What how much sea time were you doing a year?
So I think most of my career was spent at sea. So there was very limited time between my postings. So I was HMAS Darwin and then HMAS Melbourne. So they were the two ships that I served on. So total 8 years. I ended up getting out in 2017, but the majority of it was spent at sea with a couple of little stints at FSU. And then one stint at the very end of my career at the dive team. But yeah, most of that time was spent at sea. But I mean, that's what you sign up for, isn't it? You know, just to get out there to get it done.
That's and Navy,
that's it, exactly. Go sail the world. But no, Darwin was definitely a good eye opener to the business. You know. Yeah.
How much time do you fucking spend in the engine room versus fucking actually looking at the horizon?
So I think it just depends what you're doing. So if you're not a watchkeeper, then you'll work your usual 10, 12 hours a day. And then there's obviously ancillary jobs that you do outside of that. So you could be laundry or, you know, garbos or something or whatever it is that you're doing. But if you're on watch, the stokers hold a different watch to the rest of the ship. So the rest of the ship is on a 6 on, 6 off, where the stokers are 4 on, 4 off. And so, for example, if you were to start at 8 o'clock in the morning, then you go from 8 to 12, then you'd have your 4 hours off watch. Usually in between that time, you do a couple hours of off watch work, bit of maintenance, then you get your time to go to the gym, and then come around back to 8 o'clock again, you're back on. And then you're on from 8 till 12 at night, and then usually that's when you get to bed, 12 o'clock at night or just after 12, you know, and then that's how it worked for the stokers. You know, and at the very beginning, when you're doing your trade, it's all about you're buddied up with someone all the time. So we have 3 different qualifications as a stoker. You start off as an MST, then you go MSc, then MSM. So Marine Systems Technician, Marine Systems Controller, and then Marine Systems Manager. And some of those qualifications sort of dive off into civilian realm and whatnot as well. But essentially what you'll do at the very beginning of your career is when you get on board the ship, you'll get your competency log done. So there's a lot of maintenance that you need to get signed off on to prove that you can do it, and you've got to do it so many times. So you have a big book with all the different things, and it's all specific to each ship, and then there's always the generic things that are across the Navy. So like say you got to change a filter out in a diesel engine or something, or you got to service the refrigeration system on the ship, whatever it is, and so you got to do it so many times. And then that's what you'll start doing. And then eventually once you get so much of that done, or when a position or an opening comes up, then you'll start doing watchkeeping. And then that's when you'll start getting buddied up with someone, and then you follow them around for the duration of how long it takes you to get qualified. I can't remember the specific length of time they want you to get to that point, but like say, usually it might be a few months, that if you're out to sea for 4 months or something, then you'll be buddied up for that 4 months, and you'll be doing rounds with someone for that 4 months. And you'll be going through all the spaces. And for us, it was, we had this little digital barcode reader, and then it would have all the pressures and sort of sensor information that you'd have to fill out. So like if you were going up to a saltwater system, cooling system for the diesel engines or something, and then you go up and you scan the barcode, and then you go, right, okay, it's this many PSI or something, or whatever, you know what I mean? So, and then you just do that as you're going through the ship, you know, up and down, going through all the different spaces, but then you're also inspecting the machinery as well. You're taking like oil samples, you're dipping tanks and all sorts of stuff as well. So you're just going through visually inspecting equipment and making sure nothing's broken or leaking or there's any defects.
Yeah.
And
Make
then,
sure the ship's fucking running smooth.
Yeah, that's definitely especially when you're working up in like the tropics and things like that, and especially when you're doing like the MST stuff, because that's like you're up and down, you're moving around all for the 4 hours.
Yeah.
You know, you're carting hoses around, you're sucking oil out of bilges and whatnot and transferring it into different tanks, and so it's just real filthy, dirty work. You know what I mean? And then if it is a bit slow, they've got you cleaning something. Go down and clean this engine, go down and do that. You're wiping something down, you're wiping oil off of this. So you're just coming out and you're just completely filthy.
Black.
Yeah, you just stink of diesel by the end of a shift. You reek, so you do. And then that was life for, like, you know, when you're out there at sea, that's all you do, day in, day out.
You just fucking sting like diesel for fucking 6 months.
Yeah. So
you get the fucking smell off you when you get home, or?
Yeah, you do, but like the smell never leaves your cam uniform. It just stays.
Yeah.
And so you always like one of the duties you had to do was when you were a junior was laundry, you know. And then when you were in laundry, they expected you to catch up on all your study and stuff like that. So you had to memorize the ship systems for that specific job that you're doing off by heart. So you had to be able to draw the fire main system for the ship. You had to draw where the valve was, you know. So you draw like a schematic, an engineering schematic, you know, and you'd have your graph paper, and then you'd like get your little steel ruler and your little fine pens, and you would be drawing along, and then there's a valve and there's a suction point, and then you had to present that, you know. So you had a folder of all these engineering schematics that you drew from memory because you traced the system. So you walked through the whole ship. You found where that valve was, you found where this was, you found where that control switch was, and then that all had to be in the top of your head. So you build all that knowledge, and then the next phase for us with FFGs was you moved to it was at EPSI, electrical plant controller, and then you'd be sitting in the CCS room, and then you'd be managing the electrical plant for the ship. So then that was your job, to make sure that the generators were coming online, offline, and that the switchboards were paralleled correctly and all that sort of stuff.
What do the ETs do if fucking...
Fuck all. Just sit there and look pretty. So I think what you're asking is, obviously, so with being a stoker, you get different rates. So there was like, you can be like a gas turbine maintainer, diesel mechanic, refrigeration mechanic, and then P rate, which was you'd be an electrician essentially for the ship. But the ETs, they look after all your sonar and radar and weapon systems. They are electronics, but they look after that side of things. And then the P rate, which is your electrician as a stoker, so like a Sparky outside, would look after all your switchboards and all that sort of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the ETs are changing light bulbs.
No. We're the ones that are changing the light bulbs. Yeah, but we look after all the major switchboards for the power generation system, whereas the ETs will have switchboards and whatnot inside their specific compartments. But that stuff is specific to their equipment, so we wouldn't touch that unless it intervened with or like it was in conjunction. Then they might get a P rate to assist.
So it's more like the weapon systems and stuff.
Yeah. So like with our major switchboards, like we can isolate pretty much everything on the ship. So like I could isolate a compartment, I could isolate a piece of machinery or something like that. So like the P rates would the ETs would have to come to us. So we basically control the whole plant of the ship. So if they wanted to do a bit of maintenance on a piece of equipment, they couldn't just go tag it out and then start work on it. They would have to come down to the central control room. They would need to let the marine engineer know that they want to isolate this piece of equipment. Then the P rates and then the stokers, or the mechanical guys, we would go out and then we would start isolating bits of kit so that we would stop water getting to it for the cooling, or the electricians would isolate the circuit breakers so that there was no power getting to their piece of equipment. You know, so it always fell back down to the stokers. So we had basically the run of the ship and control of the ship. So, and that was always very prevalent, you know, like they always thought they were fucking king shit. You know what I mean?
Stokers.
Yeah. There was always a vibe of stokers thinking they were king shit on board. But the buck stopped in that sense for them when it came down to mechanical equipment.
You also got fucking filthy dirty and...
Yeah, grease monkeys.
Shit job, yeah.
Oh, fucking terrible jobs. Terrible jobs.
Who cleans the toilets?
We clean the toilets. Fucking the toilets, man. It's just one of those fucking jobs that you had to do. Actually, a fucking funny story. One time we were out in where was it? I think it was my first deployment to the Middle East, and we were in Dubai, and I think was that Kelly? No, I was in AB at that time, and yeah, we had we were in Dubai, and people were on shore leave, and then it ended up being that the Sheila's mess had a blocked toilet or something. Sewage system was blocked in their mess, and so obviously being duty that day, we had to go down and fucking inspect it and figure out what was going on. So we're testing the toilets and stuff like that. We're getting no flush or whatever, and we're just like, right, okay, something's backed up somewhere in the pipes. So you got to fucking trace the system down, and we found that a little cupboard compartment. We've undone one of the fucking joints, you know what I mean, and nothing's coming out. It should just leak out, you know. So I got one of the guys, the junior guys. He's got like this little grabber thing, you know, and he's pushing it into the pipe, and he's trying to grab stuff, you know, try and pull whatever the fuck's out there. Anyway, he's finally caught on to something. He's feeling some friction, and he's like, I've got something. I'm like, all right, okay, just fucking pull it out then. And as he's pulling this he's just released all this pressure, then all this shit and piss is just
no.
just went all over him, man. Turns out what he's pulled out is a fucking tampon.
I was gonna I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it. As soon as you said women's, I was like, it's a fucking
the
tampon.
Sheilas are always fucking told, don't put the tampons down the fucking toilet. Oh, down the heads, actually. I get fucking into trouble for that. Huh? Don't put tampons down the fucking heads. And anyway, yeah, the chief stoker who was on duty that day, man, he's called all the Sheilas onto the flight deck, and he's fucking pulled this poor fucking seaman stoker up who was filthy, and he's just like parading him in front of the Sheilas. They're all standing there at attention. He's just like, look at this poor little
Look what you did to him.
And he's just like, you know, getting ragdolled. And it's just like, so he's reamed the fucking Sheilas. He's made them go down. And then he's got them to fucking mop the fucking space and fucking clean everything up. And yeah, so like you always got the backing of the hierarchy, you know, when something went wrong and it wasn't your fault, then people came in and they backed you up. You know what I mean? Nice. So an instance like that where they should have known better, you know, they felt the wrath of the chief tiff.
She was just in a rush. No one will notice.
Exactly. There's always a way.
Fucking
Cleary Springs.
Do you have any secondary duties for stokers, fire party or fucking boarding parties or anything, or stokers weren't involved in that? So
yeah, there's a few things you can do obviously with the passes. So there are other different ancillary things that you can do as part of your rate. Ship's diver is one of them. So one of the courses that I did was a ship's dive course. That was done through the clearance diving team out in Penguin. Definitely a highlight of my career, doing a lot of that diving. So I did that, and then boarding party and stuff like that as well, which I was for my second deployment to the Middle East.
Okay.
So I deployed once as an AB back in 2013-14 to Op Slipper.
Yep.
And then I did another deployment 2015-16 under Op Manitou. So it went from active service to then operational service for the second one. But you were pretty much doing the same stuff, and I'm pretty sure the second time round it was a bit more balls to the wall, you know what I mean? Did a little bit more, but maybe that was because I was boarding party as well.
Right.
But as of secondary jobs, did a ship's dive course, and
what does that involve in real life?
So most of the time it was you were just doing hull inspections, so looking at suction points in the ship, make sure they weren't blocked up, all that sort of stuff. And then there was a thing that we used to do every couple of years called a pokey gauge test, where you would dive down and you would inspect the outer roundness of the shaft. So essentially you get the A-frame of the ship, and that's where the shaft and then the shaft comes out of the hull, and then obviously get the propeller. And then obviously as time goes on, the shaft will, you know, wear with degradation and all that sort of stuff, abrasion and everything else. So one of the jobs was to go down to the shaft, and there was a little bolt that you'd undo, and you'd basically put this what was it called again? A measuring depth stick, and it was very small, and that would drop down, and basically like a multimeter sort of thing, and then that would go up, and then they would just record that data over time, just to inspect to see how the shaft is going. And I think from memory, one of the shaft itself, it's not one of those things that you just replace. I think the shaft was designed to be in for life of the ship. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So you change the prop out and stuff like that. But I think the shaft was. I mean, they probably could change it out, but I think the intent was for that to always be there for life of ship. But yeah, and
so what about before we get into the deployments and boarding parties and stuff? What was the? Did you have any experience crossing the line?
Yeah, that was on Darwin. That was good fun. I think the Navy was a little bit different back then to what it is now.
So for those that don't know, crossing the line is a sailor's first experience of crossing the equator. And usually there's some sort of ceremony involved.
Yeah, that's it. King Neptune comes up. Usually you get some crusty old sailor on board, like a warrant officer or a chief stoker or something. They dress up as a queen. Is it Queen Neptune? Or something like that.
King Neptune.
Yeah, King Neptune, and then his wife and whatnot. So some guy will be there in some little shell bra. Most of the time these are older geezers anyway, so they got titties anyway. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's all a bit of a laugh. And they call us, I think we're shellbacks. Is that what it is? We're shellbacks and or maybe we're polywogs. And then the shellbacks are the ones that get around fucking beating the shit out of everyone. Something like that. But I've got a vivid memory of this time on Darwin. And so one of the jobs that you had to do before you went to bed at night was you'd have to sign what they call as night orders. And that's basically to understand the condition of the ship at that point in time, so you know what's running, so how many diesel generators are online, what refrigerant systems are online, AC compressors, whatever. And so if anything was to happen throughout the night, then you would know what's going on, so that you kind of understand where the reaction would be, sort of thing. And you always signed that before going to bed. And if you didn't sign it, someone on the 12 o'clock watch would come down, they would fucking shake you in your farter, get you to come up and sign it. Anyway, this is the night before the crossing the line ceremony, and there's always a bit of debauchery that goes on the night before, and me being young, dumb and naive, fucking didn't have a clue that anything was going to happen. So I went to my bed probably about 10, 11 o'clock that night, you know, and then about 1 o'clock in the morning I get shaked, and they're like, "Oi, Irish, fucking get up. And I'm like, "What do you want?" And they're like, "Oh, you forgot to sign night orders." And I'm like, "No, I fucking signed it, I swear." I'm like, "No, you didn't. Get up." You know, and obviously you get some Kelly telling you this, so you're like, "Oh, fuck, right, okay, get up." So get up, fucking t-shirt gets on, pants go on, fucking boots go on, don't even tie them up or anything, you're just kind of like trudging yourself up to the CCS, you know, where the central control room is. And as I walk in, and I just get blindsided. So fucking two guys just fucking rush me, jump me from behind and tackle me to the ground. And then next minute, I've got like 2 or 3 guys on me, fucking they just start digging in, you know. And then someone comes up with a fucking cold bucket of water and starts fucking putting water over me and stuff like that. And then next thing you know, I'm getting fucking hogtied and fucking tied up.
This is the day before crossing the line?
This is the morning of crossing the line. Okay, yeah. So this is at the between the 12 and 4 o'clock watch. So I've been taken out and then hogtied, and fucking people are giving digs. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? You
didn't know anything about the ceremony.
Yeah. Well, you kind of know, but you didn't think that it was going to be that fucking bad. And then next thing you know, I've been picked up. I've been hogtied, you know, fucking legs behind my back, arms behind my back. I've been picked up and then dragged to behind one of the switchboards, and as I'm being fucking dragged behind the switchboard, I see 2 other fucking seaman sailors tied up in the exact same position, and they're just laughing, going. And the Kelly comes back round, he's like, "Hey, you fucking 3, shut the fuck up. If you guys make a noise for the next guy coming up, it'll be fucking even worse." So you're just lying there, you know, with a big grin in your face, hogtied, just waiting for the next unsuspecting victim to come in. To be like, what the fuck? So
where are the officers? They went for a fucking smoke break or something?
Oh, fuck knows what they were doing, mate. Bunking up together. So, yeah, bit of fun. And then obviously the next day, we build a pool out in the flight deck, you know, and they just build this big fucking timber pool and put canvas in it, fill it with salt water, and then, yeah, you get a punishment of some sort, and you get pied in the face or fucking slapped with fucking cream or whatever the fuck it is. That just sounds a bit gay, but...
Cream pied in the face? No, the Navy's not gay, I swear.
Joined with an arsehole, left out a porthole. Fuck, yeah, and then, yeah, just a bit of a laugh, you know what I mean? So, No,
was there any worse ones that you witnessed?
Honestly, not that I can remember. I mean, I think it was all fair game back then. You know, you just kind of sucked it up and dealt with it. You know, people that kind of sucked it up was, you know, they knew about it. So, but again, I think things were a little bit different back then. You know?
Yeah, I'd be interested to see what they're doing these days.
Yeah, I don't think it's as...
it's been going since the beginning of time.
Well, I remember when I was on my second deployment that when it came to crossing the line, they were more about if someone says like they're not interested in doing it or something, or like they don't want to get involved to that extent, then it was like they respect those wishes. But even then, like we had tied people up in into fucking post bag. You know the big post bags, the big blue ones you used to get. So we had wrapped them up to around their neck, and then we tied them up to posts inside the ship, and then got do you remember Denso tape? The electrical tape that stops water getting into bloody electrical fins and stuff. But like we'd wrap their head around with Denso tape, and then people were hanging on post bags and around different poles around the ship and stuff. Like just hanging out, man. Just, you know, chilling.
Morning.
Yeah. You know, they were all cool with it. But then, yeah, it was at that point where I think people were starting to go, yeah, like, you know, if they're not interested, then yeah, you got to respect that wish, you know. So it definitely wasn't like that when I crossed the line. It was a little bit more. Just shut the fuck up and do it. You know.
I had a dude on from fucking when he went to NAM in '66, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, 69, I think it was. He was an officer, and he said they got fucking they came after the officers hard.
Oh, really?
Because they were just transporting.
HMAS
HMAS City was transporting army officers to NAM.
Yeah, no way. There you go. Yeah, right. Like, they would have. Yeah, they would have.
This is a ceremony, guys.
Yeah.
Strap in.
No lube.
Yeah, fucking back in those days.
Yeah, fucking hell. Yeah. Proper pineapples. Fair enough. Nice. No, I reckon it would have been a lot worse back then, especially, you know, as I was going through, you know. I think just as the times change, the mentality sort of changed with it, and yeah, it's just one of those things, you know.
Yeah. It's all about how much is going to get home, get to the press, and all that sort of shit.
Yeah, that's it.
So where was your first deployment?
First deployment. Well, actually, there's one in the fucking PM Keys on your fucking MyGov op amulet. That was the first one. Proper one, but there was nothing like, you know, you weren't given anything from it. It's when the Queen came to Australia to do, I can't remember what it was for exactly, but the Queen came, and obviously there was a lot of security around and all that sort of stuff, and Darwin was tasked with doing coastal security off the west coast of Australia there. So that's what that was my first one that I did. That was the first time I ever got done for alcohol on duty as well. Blew over. So yeah, so
just from having a big night the night before.
Yeah, just a big night the night before. Yeah, rocked up, hungover, blew in the bag, and then had to go to Alcoholics Anonymous on Currable somewhere when I got back to or whatever you call it. What was it called again? Yeah, well, whatever the defence version of AA was. I will not be a dickhead and fucking drink that much and come on duty again. You know, so.
It's fucking standard procedure.
So that's the first one that's logged on PM Keys on my Gov account, and then but the first big one I did was the Op Slipper back in 2013-14.
So where'd you guys sit for that?
So where did we?
Where'd you sit? Where'd you go to?
So left Garden Island in Sydney, and then we operated all through the Horn of Africa through to the Persian Gulf, and then into is it the South Persian Gulf? Is that what you call it again? And then inside the Persian Gulf. Fuck, jeez, my geography's terrible at the moment. But anyway, inside that sort of
in Iraq then.
Yeah, around that sort of sphere of influence, and then outside of that, when you get back into like the Indian Ocean and stuff like that, then round the Horn of Africa. Yeah. So that's where we mainly operated under JTF 556 or whatever the fuck it is. Anyway, with all the other coalition forces and stuff like that. So the main things that we were doing out there was counter-terrorism, anti-piracy, and counter-narcotics. And I think like when we were there at that time, terrorism-wise, other than probably intel gathering that the spooks and stuff would have been doing, there wasn't that much. But we definitely got some pirates. First time an Australian cohort had stopped pirates in the act of boarding a vessel, I think like 15 years or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it was actually quite interesting. So I think it was a Spanish ship. I can't remember the name of it, MV something. And then there was a Mayday call that went out. And
was that the one that fucking HMS Adelaide was involved with?
No, HMS Melbourne.
Oh.
Yeah. Unless Adelaide was something else.
The MV fucking... is that just a...
maritime vessel? Yeah, but that's what, that's what the every vessel, MV something. Yeah, maritime vessel this. Yeah. So we were involved in that one. And then, so the Mayday call went out, and obviously being the closest vessel, so there's other coalition forces there at the same time, but we were the closest, so dropped everything full steam ahead to inspect the site, and literally caught Somali pirates trying to board the vessel, and that sort of gives you jurisdiction to then intervene. So if we didn't catch them doing the boarding, then we wouldn't have been able to we wouldn't have been able to stop them, but because we caught them in the act, then we were able to intervene. So essentially that vessel was able to sort of peel away, we were able to sort of intercept the pirates, and then essentially took them hostage and took them on board our ship under our jurisdiction. Yeah, right. So you
say, I'm the captain now.
Yeah. I'll get to that in a second, actually, because that's actually a good bit of the story. So we've stopped these Somali pirates, and I mean, like, you got to remember these guys. A lot of them were ex-fishermen and stuff like that. So they've resorted to this form of money making because of the current situation that they're in. Like they're not well off. They live in poverty over there. Like, what else are they going to do? You know, so the next best thing is pirating multi-million-dollar vessels that have huge insurance policies, and the intent for them is to essentially get on board these ships, pirate them, and try and get them back to the coast of Somalia and hold the crew hostage, and then get some form of insurance out of it. That's like the end goal. Yeah. Obviously, people probably do get hurt in the process and whatnot, and there has been probably recorded cases, but with what we did, we were able to intercept them, got on top of it, got them on board our ship, and then basically secured the whole situation. And these pirates essentially lived on board, on the forecastle of the ship. So we set up like a tarp and stuff like that. So they didn't live in the belly of the ship, they lived in the forecastle. We put up a tarp and whatnot, and they basically lived under this tarp in the forecastle for 2 weeks until we could figure out what the fuck to do with them. Like, they couldn't obviously figure it out because all done in international waters, and I think there was very limited laws at that time that was that allowed people to prosecute Somali pirates. So I think they were in the works of trying to do something with the Seychelles, but it didn't eventuate. So essentially they had to take them back to Somalia. So after 2 weeks of living on this ship, and people obviously stood guard around them the whole time, and it was all managed and whatnot. They were like, right, we got to send you back. So
drop them off back home.
Yeah, but as a warship, you don't just pull up to the fucking Somali port and be like, oi, take your fucking lads back. That just wouldn't fucking work. So we had to get as close to the coast as possible.
Fucking make them swim.
Yeah, literally, yeah. So we've put them on the ribs. Boarding parties fucking bombed up, ready to go. Got the guys on the ribs. They're all wearing sperm suits, so obviously we've ditched all their clothes when they got on board, obviously for lice and things like that. So they've been living in sperm suits for the last fucking 2 weeks.
How many of them are there?
9 of them, yeah. And then, got them on the 2 different ribs, and the ribs I've got as close to the fucking shore as possible. And the waves in the shore were pretty fucking hectic, so they couldn't get that fucking close. So as we're trying to figure out, right, how the fuck do we get closer to get these guys off? Fucking Torah Hiluxes on the beach in front of them fucking start coming up over the dunes. So these fucking Hiluxes have 50 cows, and there's some fucking Somali pirates fucking cruising the dunes, and then the fucking guys on the ribs are just like, fuck, we gotta get rid of these fucking Somali pirates. So the boys on board the ship, literally grabbed the fucking Somalis, chuck them in the piss, and told them to fucking swim. They're wearing fucking sperm suits, so they can't start to sink. They're holding on to the bloody so the boys had to cut the bloody sperm suits off them so they wouldn't fucking sink. So they got 9 naked Somalis fucking swimming back to the fucking beach. And then obviously the boys get back on board, everything's kosher, squared away, everyone's been debriefed, this is what's happened, no casualties, no injuries, blah 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 blah. And Yeah, this is the fucking bee's knees, man. The captain at the time, he puts on a flight deck movie. So we get out onto the flight deck and he's got the projector out and he's projecting it onto the fucking one of the hangar doors. And then, yeah, what film does he fucking put on?
Captain Phillips.
Fucking Captain Phillips. And we're all sitting there with fucking cans of Coke. It's like, yes! Biggest chow dog moment. Literally lived Captain Phillips.
On the other side of it.
Yeah. So,
fucking hell.
good story, man. Good story. And it didn't often happen, you know what I mean, to be able to fucking get a hold of 9 Somali pirates. So to be able to be involved in it and stuff, you know, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that was the first experience on Melbourne. And then at that point decided that I wanted to stay on board. So we got back to Australia. We lost one of my good mates, a Celtic. He just decided he just didn't want to be a part of the ship anymore. So he decided he wanted to bug out. And there was an opening for a Celtic position. And obviously, I was saying before, the retention of Celtics was pretty hard at the time. You know, you can imagine with the technical skill set that we have, the money you can make out in the oil and gas and the mining industry and whatnot. So the lads were just leaving like fucking flies to shit, you know. And it was just like getting to a point where there wasn't as many people in. So obviously positions were coming up. And through a bit of fucking hard work and hard effort and the backing of my captain and my petty officer, my chief, I eventually got promoted to lead seaman and decided that I wanted to stay on the ship and go around the buoy again and do deployment number 2.
Yeah, nice.
So, yeah, literally 2012 or 13 joined Melbourne and then literally stayed on all the way up to 2016 and did workups again. So the ship went back into refit, came out of refit. We had to do sea trials and all that. And during sea trials at that point, we were off down the south of New South Wales in a place called Eden. Don't know if you've heard of it before.
No.
So we do a lot of, that's where we bomb up essentially for the ship. So we go down to the Port of Eden and then all the weapons that we need for, like when we're doing all live fire testing and things like that, all get, I'm actually not too sure where they get transported from, but they'll come from somewhere, but that's where we load up. And that's where we get bombed up and then we head back out to sea and we'll start doing more sea trials or live fires, whatever it is we have to do. And during this one time we were out there, there was a mayday call from a Russian yachtsman. So I think he was trying to sail either from New Zealand to Australia or it was Australia to New Zealand. It was one of the two. And he got caught in a very severe storm. Like this was, the storm was mental. And the mayday call was out. And so because we were the closest sort of ship with search and rescue capability, then we were tasked to head out and go rescue this Russian sailor essentially. At the same time, Melbourne Police Search and Rescue also launched a helicopter. So we've launched our Seahawk. They've launched their helicopter as well. And they were going to go in and vector in the Seapurb that got launched. And then at the same time, we were sailing into the eye of this storm. And it's one of the most memorable experiences I've ever had in my life. Like, I've never been in seas.
What sea state was it?
Sea state 9, phenomenal.
Holy fuck.
Fucking huge. Like, we were hitting like 45-foot waves, maybe more actually. What? Like, I don't know if you've seen the videos on YouTube, like with some ships that were fucking, I think it was a New Zealand one, and it just like literally duck dives through these massive waves. Same thing, but like being such, being such a pointed fronted ship, the FFGs, we were literally coming up these waves and then cresting them with the front hanging out and then just crashing down and submarining through the next one and then coming back up again. And I was on watch at that point and I just remember, it is the first time I've ever been green. First time I thought I was going to throw up. Never was seasick in my life, and that was the only time I thought I was going to be seasick.
Oh, yeah?
I had a good excuse. But yeah, we couldn't turn around. We had to just keep plowing through. Like if we tried to turn around, even though you got hydraulic stabilizers and stuff on the ship, if we tried to turn around, we would have been capsized for sure. So it was just one of those ones where just hold on tight and just hope nothing went wrong. And we eventually cleared the storm, and the guy gets picked up and taken back to Victoria. You can probably, I think there's a news article on it as well. The police search and rescue guy talks about how he tries to get the Russian sailor, and the waves are just so tall that the guy tries to grab him, and the Russian sailor drops so far, and there's like 40 foot between
the halo.
Yeah, there's 40 foot between the guy that's on the winch and then the Russian sailor in the water. Then they've got to wait for the wave to come back up again to try and grab him. That's what it was like for the guys in the search and rescue helicopter. You know what I mean? So you imagine what it was like for us out there as well. Yeah, it was absolutely mental.
Getting fucking weightless as the ship's fucking falling.
Oh, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you were just getting thrown around, and you could literally jump and fucking reach the stars. You know what I mean? With the way it fell from you that quick.
Yeah.
You know, so that was something else. But to come out that, like, I wouldn't say I was scared, but I was definitely nervous at that point, because it was pretty something. Like, it was pretty scary, and a lot can go wrong. But I was on watch at that point as well, and yeah, just getting through some of the machinery spaces, it was fucking hard work, you know, like just climbing up and down the ladder bays and stuff. But not only that, just getting thrown around and just trying to, like, you know.
Especially if you're down there and you don't know what fucking, like, if you can see what's coming, you can brace for it, right? If you're down there, you don't know when it's going to happen. So it's fucking at any moment.
Something can happen here. Yeah.
You're up in the air.
But eventually the cam, the storm passed, everything went calm, and then we sailed back to Sydney. And then we ended up having to do another round of, we had to go into dry dock because of that. So there's spray shields at the front of the ship that act as a deflection, obviously, spray shield. They were bowed in like 10 inches. These are like insanely thick bits of pieces of steel. Like 10 inches is a lot for a piece of steel to be bowed in by a wave. The APUs underneath the ship completely buckled as well. So we had to go into refit, get all that fixed up and everything else in between. And then eventually we got out of refit and then started our sea trials again, and then went back into pre-deployment workups and stuff like that to get ready to head back out to the Middle East. Yeah. And then deployed, I think it was 2015 to 2016, deployed for my second deployment as boarding party this time, so no more watch keeping. Okay. And was mainly just working as a maintainer on board the ship, just in planned maintenance and corrective maintenance. And then my ancillary job this time was boarding party and ship's diver. But before deploying on that second deployment, had a bit of a near miss. I think I've told you about this one before, the dive incident. So 3 days before setting sail, we had to do another pokey gauge test on the ship, check out roundness, and I was under the ship with my Oppo Brady. And for some reason, so when you're diving, you got to dive with a float and a line strapped around your waist, and essentially that allows the people on top to see where you are, but they can also send signals to you as well. So like with pulls and tugs, and when you feel that pull or a tug, it's just like, oh, go left or do a circular search or whatever the fuck it is that they want you to do. But that's basically your line of communication, like Morse code sort of thing. Yeah. Anyway, the line that I had around me, for some reason, I'd managed to pull my float under the ship so they couldn't see it. And then as I'm under the ship, I think we were also inspecting the prop. I had my buddy on the other side of the prop and I was on the inside of the prop. And for some reason, both my regs failed. And I didn't realise what was going on at the time. Essentially, I went to take my last breath, like as you do, and then nothing. You know, just like squeezing on nothing. Yeah, I was like, oh, fuck, here we go. So ditched my primary, went for my secondary, went to take a breath of that. Nothing. I'm like, holy shit. I'm only 6 meters underwater, but I got no fucking air. I was like, right, okay, I need to get to the fucking surface. So I look up, see where I get my bearings, see where I'm at. I'm like, and I try to start swimming. And I just can't fucking move. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? You know, and I'm looking around and I can see that my fucking line is going all the way down underneath the prop for some reason. And so I don't know that my float has managed to get itself wedged and caught, and that my line is wrapped around the fucking prop. The prop isn't moving, but I don't know that it's fucking caught. Yeah. I'm trying to fucking swim and move, and I can't move for fucking shit, and I'm starting to fucking run out of breath. So I'm looking at this situation going, right, this is pretty fucked. I need to get the fuck out of here. So I go for my knife that's on my fucking right ankle. Get my knife. At this point, I'm kind of shaking a bit, you know, kind of panicking, you know, and I go, and I go to fucking cut my fucking rope. And as I went to cut my rope, I've just let go of my knife. And I'm trying to grab it, and I'm watching this fucking thing fucking slip down and just getting into the abyss. And I'm just like, holy fuck. And obviously, when your BC system is over you, your rope is underneath your BC system, so I can't even fucking get in to fucking undo the knot. You know what I mean?
Fair.
So I'm just fucking trapped. So I'm just trying to tug and pull, and I can't fucking move anything. And then I'm literally at the point of fucking blacking out. I think everything just fucking shutting in on me. And then my awful fucking Brady just looks round the fucking side of the prop last minute, sees what the fuck is going on, and is just darted towards me. He's came over and he's just kind of, I just remember seeing this like glimpse of him, and I've snatched his fucking primary reg out of his mouth, and he's tried to pull back on it. Because obviously that's not fucking procedure. You don't just grab someone's primary reg, and I've grabbed it and he's pulling it back from me. You know what I mean? I'm trying to squeeze this thing in my fucking mouth. Eventually he grabs his secondary and fucking shoves it in my mouth, and I managed to take a breath of this. I had no air to purge it. So I've just taken this massive breath. Yeah, seawater in air, and it's got caught in my fucking lungs. So the next minute I'm fucking convulsing underwater. My Opal finally fucking cuts me free. And then fucking swims me to the surface, man. And we start doing the fucking emergency procedure, you know, just banging on the fucking water, you know, splashing. I'm trying to catch my breath, and I can't even get myself back on the rib. I get dragged back up on the rib, you know what I mean? And then fucking everyone's asking, geez, what the fuck has happened? You know, is everything all right? You know, and I'm just like fucking quite delirious at this point, just trying to compose myself, just like, I don't fucking know, you know what I mean? I'm just like coughing up water and everything else in between. And then eventually I kind of come to and I calm down a bit, and I'm just like, fuck, what the fuck just happened there? And get back, like we pack everything up, we finish the job, get back on the ship, like not even registering the fact I've just almost fucking drowned, you know what I mean? Get back on the ship, and it's just like the chief, one of the chiefs comes up to me, and then he sort of sits me down. He's just like, obviously I've just heard about this fucking dive incident, you know, pretty serious is what's happened. One or two things that might happen here is if you, you know, fucking tell us about this and we keep your name on the board, we're going to have to do an incident report. You might not deploy. And then I was kind of like contemplating this, and I'm going, well, fuck, I want to deploy. And I've not registered the fact that I've almost died. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm just like, no. So I just scrub my name off the fucking board.
As if you were never there.
As if I was never there. And forgot the whole thing fucking happened. Obviously I didn't forget the whole thing happened. I just fucking put it behind me because
officially forgot it ever
because
happened,
it says, as it said, like if you fucking, you'd have to see a psychologist after this, and if they deem you mentally unfit, you won't make the fucking deployment. And I'm just like, well, fuck, no, I want to deploy, man. So yep, name off the board. Deployed 3 days later, and fucking whether that was the fucking smartest thing to do, I don't fucking know. But I wanted to get out there, and I don't regret fucking doing that at that point in time. Probably wasn't the smartest thing, but I definitely wanted to get out there and deploy. You know, I mean, the stuff that we did when we were over there boarding party bodies and whatnot was fucking next to none. I had a fucking great time doing it. Yeah, you know, but I think deep down there was already a seed that was sort of planted a little bit, you know, that something's
fear of the underwater.
Yeah, something's already happened, and it's just that sort of sat with me. And I remember so we got to Dubai, you know, it's one of our first port visits over there, and they were just like, right, we need to get Irish back in the water. You know what I mean? And I remember jumping in the water for the first time, fucking shitting myself. I'm like, why the fuck am I scared? Why is this fucking giving me the willies? You know what I mean? But just not registering, just, you know, pushing everything so far fucking down. You know, and then did the deployment, and got caught up in a fucking whole fucking mix of things. You know what I mean? Fucking had Somali pirates pointing fucking AK-47s at us. Fucking, they were doing security for fucking fishing vessels. You know, so we were out there fucking...
The pirates were, or you were?
No, they were. So the pirates out there fucking also do security for fucking fishing vessels and stuff like that. So when we get intel to say that there's a suspicion with this vessel, then we got to do flag verification boardings and stuff like that. Jumping on this one vessel and some cunts pointing an AK-47 at you. There was just me and the diver that got on. The rest of the fucking ribs had to pull away, and fucking... just me and the diver just sitting there fucking looking at each other, and I'm just looking at him going, well, fucking, if he shoots, you better fucking get him, because all I've got is a fucking 9mm. What the fuck is that going to do? You know what I mean? So, yeah, some fucking interesting moments. But yeah, a lot of fucking drug searches and stuff like that when we're out there. So,
what are you fucking searching for drugs for?
So,
why did it come down to you to look for drugs?
Well, I guess the main reason why we're out there for doing the drug searching is that's like one of the main, or not the main, but that's one of the methods of capital for terrorist organisations. So obviously a lot of poppy farms in Pakistan, Afghanistan.
So you're trying to cut off their fucking financial means?
Pretty much. So if you're able to intercept drugs that are coming out of Iran, Pakistan and whatnot in Afghanistan and get into the horn of it. So that's essentially what's happening is these terrorist organisations are cultivating the poppies or hashish, and then they're exporting it to the east coast of Africa, and then it gets distributed through Africa, then up to Europe, and then through the rest of the world and stuff like that. So one of the things that we're doing is we're out there intercepting these vessels, looking for the drugs to then try and reduce the capital of terrorist organisations, so then they can't improve their like armory weapons or, you know, whatever it is that we're trying to do. So that's one of the main things. At the same time, we're doing the counter-terrorism stuff and the anti-piracy. But this time round when I was out there was no anti-piracy stuff going on. It was mostly counter-terrorism and counter-narcotics, you know.
Yeah, okay.
So
you went to the same spot?
The same spot, yeah. Same spot. Just
back home.
Yeah, that's it. Same job, different day.
Yeah.
But no, it was good. It was good, but unfortunately, that deployment was cut short from snapping my ankle on board the ship. So I was it was halfway through the deployment, and I was doing PT at the front of the ship, and we have these deck fittings on the front of the ship there, and just stupidly got my foot caught in the fucking deck fitting and completely snapped all the ligaments in my right ankle, and almost as it happened, I almost fucking fell off the side of the ship, hobbling. I had to grab the guardrails and stuff like that to stop myself falling over. You know, just a bit too much forward momentum. But so I ended up.
How long were you there for?
So that deployment all up was about 3.5 months, I think. Coming up on 4, it was something like that. 3.5 months, enough to get the gong anyway. So I did that one, and I had to spend I think it was a week on board the ship on crutches. You know, you can imagine fucking trying to move around on crutches on a moving vessel. Fuck, that's right. No, I remember. The reason why I had to stay on board a week and not get medevaced off was the Seahawk that we had was down for maintenance, and it was a week for a part to come in or something. Oh, okay. So that's why they couldn't get me off directly. So they had to send a call out to coalition forces, and a Merlin from a British Air Force base in Oman ended up getting the call, and they came over and essentially picked me up. But I had to get winched up and everything. It was fucking embarrassing. I think because I was on like opioid painkillers. Opioid painkillers, and they put the winch and everything onto me. I was in the fucking stretcher, and I was like, no, just put the bloody thing underneath my armpits and then just winch me up that way. And they're like, no, we've got to do it for, your safety. You're on. I'm pretty sure it was the CEO that just wanted to do it for a piss take. Like, no, fuck him. We'll give him one last send off. So someone's got. I think I've got a picture there on Facebook somewhere of me fucking just like well, I'm strapped in, you know what I mean? So
I'll find it. Check it out.
Yeah, that's it. So so I got medevaced off, and then got onto the British Merlin, and that's an interesting bit of kit. Those helicopters, they're pretty cool. And ended up going to a British Air Force base in Oman, and it was so interesting. So I got there, and so everyone knew they were picking up this Australian that had injured themselves, right? And obviously they didn't know the Australian was a Scottish guy. So I've got off this helicopter, I've went to the fucking sick bay, they've checked me out, and they gave me a room, like, off you go to the fucking room. It was a nightmare to get to because it's all fucking like one of those proper fucking bases that it's just like fucking gravel everywhere. There's no fucking paths or roads or whatever the fuck, so I've got crutches on these fucking stones just trying to walk to this fucking shitty cabin. And then the boys were just like, right, well, fucking when you're sorted in your room, come back, meet us at the wet mess, we'll fucking have a drink or something, So I get showered and changed, head back to the fucking wet mess, and I'm fucking still on opioid painkillers, and I've never had opioid painkillers before, so they're fucking knocking me around a little bit. I get to the wet mess, and I'm sitting there, and I've ordered a fucking drink, And the guys, I started chatting to a couple of fucking screws, and they were just like, "Oh, we're waiting for this fucking Aussie guy to fucking come." You know what I mean? Apparently he's injured himself on board an Aussie vessel, and he's coming down to the fucking pub. And I'm here just sitting there, you know, this Aussie guy with the Scottish accent. Eventually I tell them, and they're just like, "What the fuck?" Yeah, just fucking random, you know what I mean?
The whole time.
Yeah, that's it. So they're expecting this fucking true blue orca guy, some Scottish guy that rocks up. They just thought I was one of theirs, you know what I mean? They hurt themselves, you know? So, yeah. And then eventually, fucking after a round robin of getting thrown around on a fucking, what do you call them? Is it Hercules or something? Going to fucking different air bases. I got picked up, went to different air bases, and then eventually ended up in Al Minhad Air Base. I think I spent a week in Al Minhad Air Base, and then eventually flew back to Australia, and then got back to Sydney, and then asked for convalescence leave. So they paid for me to go back to WA where my parents are, and then I think I spent about 3 months or something over the summer there of 2000. From January or whatever it was to March, end of March or whatever, recovering over there on convalescence leave, and got there, and I think that's just when everything fucking hit me. You know what I mean? So the whole fucking
everything you'd done,
just the whole fucking 9 yards just caught up after that deployment. So the fucking hardest times on Darwin, the first deployment, the dive incident, the shit in the Middle East, and then everything just compiled. And I just remember getting to WA, and I just remember getting to my parents' house and just fucking lost it, broke down. I think I was just fucking depressed. Like, you're with the family for so long, right? So long.
Your naval family.
Yeah, and that's all I knew back then. You know, was those people, was that ship. That was my life. And then the realization kicked in, getting back home. That was no longer a part of that. And then everything sort of fucking picked up after that a little bit. You know, it was just like, oof, the realization kicked in, and
you weren't thinking you'd just fucking rehab and get back.
Yeah. So it was a little bit of a fucking long process, but yeah, it took a bit of time, and then eventually squared myself away and got back to Sydney, fixed myself up, and then got back to is it Medcat 1? Is that what you call it?
Yeah, if you get back to one, you still deploy on it too.
Yeah. So eventually got back to Medcat 1, and then was back, fucking like a bit of a spring, well, so I thought, a bit of a spring chicken, but things were, lingering a little bit, you know what I mean?
So what happened then when you got back to Sydney?
So I went back to FSU, Fleet Support Unit. I ended up flying back out to the Middle East again to fix HMAS Darwin. So they were the next one on rotation after Melbourne. They needed a stoker to go and fix SSDG number 4's start air compressor. I don't know why the guys on board couldn't fucking repair it. I'd done so many early in the career, so I kind of had an idea of what to do. So cohort of people flew out, and that's what they used to do, is when you're halfway through deployment, they'll pull over somewhere like, say, Bahrain or Dubai, and then they'll send a heap of people out so that the ship get a bit of respite, and then people come on and do all the major maintenance and stuff like that.
Okay.
But maybe that's what it was. So I went back out, ended up catching up with the NCIS operator that we used to hang out with on Melbourne for that second deployment as well. He was still out there operating, so I went out to his compound, made a catch up. We actually... Fuck, that reminds me. So one of the boardings that we did early on in that second deployment, and it was one of the first boardings that I did, and we got out there and we fucking flag verification. We knew there was something on there. Intel said there was fucking something on there. So we jump on and we got to do the whole kit caboodle, so fucking you get a suspicious sign saying, yep, there might be something here. That goes back to the CO. The CO goes, yep, right, okay, start your investigation. So as a stoker, what you do is you go around and do your boroscoping and stuff like that. So we're going around drilling holes into the hull, and fucking we got a boroscope and a fucking camera and whatnot, and we're looking through the hull to see if there's any like hidden fucking parcels or yeah. And eventually we get down to the fucking the main hold of the ship, a big fucking fridge essentially, and it had heaps of fucking fish in it, heaps of fish, and like big maui things like that, big swordfish, so like massive motherfuckers, and it's all stacked so fucking neatly. So me and the NCIS operator get down into this big massive fridge, and we just start tearing shit apart. We're fucking up the stacking and everything. It was a mess by the And the captain comes down to fucking look at this, and he's fucking fuming. And the NCIS, this American guy, he's just like, fucking Irish, I swear to God, there's fucking drugs in here somewhere. We know there's fucking drugs. And we just couldn't fucking find them. Anyway, so we get up, we're like, nah, we can't fucking find shit, you know. So I'm up in the fucking, the helm, up in the ship, and just looking around. And quite pissed off at this point. Knew something there, but we couldn't find anything. And then I see the captain's fucking prayer beads just sitting there. I'm just like, I'll take these. Thank you very much. So fucking we jump off the ship and we're fucking heading back to our fucking ship. And I just remember the captain fucking pointing and looking at my rib that I was on. And he's looking at me because he knows I'm the one that fucking did all this fucking shit. And he looks at me and he gets his fucking hands up like this and goes, you know, I'll fucking see you next time, I'm going to shoot you. I just pulled out these little fucking prayer beads. I'm like, fuck you.
What are they?
Islamic prayer beads.
Oh, prayer beads. Fuck it up. So you never found any drugs on them?
No.
You just fucking tore up this poor fucking fisherman's ship and stole his prayer beads.
Well, so this gets to the point of the fucking story. So I'm back in Bahrain and I've caught up with the NCIS operator again and we're chatting away and we're talking about that boarding.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, fucking, I swear to God there was drugs on there. And we're chatting away and we just couldn't figure it out. And it was almost at the same time, the penny drops and we look at each other and we're like, it was in the fucking fish.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Fucking.
The drugs were in the, I mean, we can't prove it, you know, but fucking we were sure the drugs were in the fish. You know, that moment you're just like, oh, you fucking dumb
Who
cunt.
doesn't check in the fish?
Yeah, we did. It was frozen fucking fish, man. They were heavy as fuck. I think I stunk a fucking swordfish in my mouth for fucking weeks after that. Didn't matter how much soap I had, I fucking couldn't get it off. You know, so.
Fuck. So you went back out there. How long were you there for? How long?
Yeah, it must have been a month or something. And then we ended up in Dubai. It must have been like a transit in Dubai or something. Went to Comic-Con in Dubai. Yeah. Went and saw John Cena at Comic-Con in Dubai.
Oh, no shit.
And what's his name from bloody... it was fucking random. One of the ETs actually was just like, oh, Comic-Con's in Dubai, do you want to go? I'm like, aye, sure. Next minute, fucking John Cena's at Comic-Con giving it all this. So just come from bloody fixing this ship in Bahrain back into Dubai, seeing John Cena, you know? Fucking random. You know, what's his name from Back to the Future, the old geezer?
Michael J. Fox.
No, the other one. The
old.
Yeah, he was there as well.
Oh, no
So I got to see him. There you go. Is it the funny things that you see?
Maybe travel the world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, go see John Cena.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, fucking, how long are you in? 8 years.
Almost 8 years. Yeah.
How far through was this?
So this would have been 6 years ish. Yeah, when that happened. So 6.5 ish or something like that. And then went back to FSU after that point and was looking for another posting. Got on well with the divers from that second deployment, and they were looking for another dive team engineer to help them out. The guy that was currently there just wasn't medically fit to deploy with them and do all the operations and stuff like that. So I was just like, oh look, man, if you need someone, I'm brand new again, so get us on, you know what I mean? So the chief diver that was there, he was an English lad actually. He transferred from the British Navy as a clearance diver to the Australian clearance diving team. And he's the one that sorted it out and got it all squared away. And next thing you know, I was getting posted to the dive team. And yeah, spent I think it was almost a year or something at the dive team before I got out. But the dive team, that was a good fucking fun experience. Like,
Working with the clearance divers.
Yeah. So as the ship's engineer, the dive team's engineer, you attach to their recon unit. So you do, you basically go where they go. So if they're doing amphibious ops for Talisman Sabre or something, then you jump on with them and you go and do what they're doing. You don't get into the full fucking nitty gritty stuff that they're doing, but you're working alongside the pioneers, Army Amphib and all that sort of stuff, and Army Recon and whatnot as well. So they're all doing whatever fucking little bits and pieces that they're doing. Yeah. And obviously you help out in other facets of the team, but mostly you're there just to look after all the mechanical equipment, all the ribs, all the boats, all that sort of stuff, you know. So that's your job, is to get all that sort of stuff up and running. They had an assortment of Zods, ribs, rigid hull inflatable boats, and a couple little smaller vessels as well, like with 2 large diesel propulsion systems in them and stuff like that. So that was your main job, was just to make sure all that stuff was up and running. And then when they deployed or went and did operations or exercise, then you went along with them.
Yeah, nice.
And yeah, you got to get into the mix of it as well. So that was the first time I ever got to go green as well. So as a stoker, you don't
Putting
get
cams on.
Yeah. You don't get to go green that often as a stoker, so that was definitely a bit of an eye opener. The first proper time I did it was went to Townsville to do the escape and evade course up there, which is usually for pilots and recon and all that sort of stuff. So the one I'm talking about up in Townsville.
No. So if you get captured though,
conduct after capture, all that sort of stuff. So here's me. That whole time I was there, I just thought I was on fucking holiday. I was just a big smile, just like, this is fucking great, man. Look at all the shit that I'm doing, this is brilliant, So it's just like a holiday camp for me, getting to do all this fun stuff. And fucking I was out in the Townsville jungle doing you get left out alone, and I think it was like your expectation was one night when you were out there. That's what you thought was going to happen. You're going to stay out there for one night, and then they end up leaving you out there for 2 nights. You got no food, no water, so you got to fucking salvage it yourself, and you got to build your own little fucking. You get like one little parachute awning thing, so you got to build like a tarp and then like a bamboo bed and stuff like that. And it was pissing down with fucking rain non-stop, and I smuggled some fucking tea. Like they check you to make sure you don't have anything, but I've smuggled some tea bags and some fucking cigarettes with me. So I'm just sitting there like a fucking poor soppy little fucking stoker, wet and damp, fucking with the shittest bamboo bed and fucking the worst fucking tarp in the world, fucking big millipedes crawling over me and shit like that. Just boiling myself a brew and fucking having a durry. Just like, hey, I'm on holiday, it's all good. So had a good time. And I got to do a fair bit with those guys, and ended up last deployment with them was to Rimpak. I think that was near the end of 2016. And instead of doing the usual Rimpak stuff that Navy does in Hawaii, the dive team went to San Diego, and we deployed onto USS Pearl Harbor, which operated it. So it was an amphib ship, and that was with the Japs, the Germans, the Australians, and the Americans. So there was a cohort of different clearance diving teams there from those different countries. And they were all working together, just showing off different things that they do, different techniques, different tactics, all that sort of stuff. And and obviously most of the stuff that I was doing out there was either helping as a comms number for the dive team, so I'd just be relaying, be on the boats with them, just doing comms back and forth from the ship or all that sort of stuff, and then doing what they call DSOTs, which is your daily operating checks on the boats and stuff like that were down the back of the well deck on this amphib ship. And had a great time. So I think we spent a month there. We also got to work with and I'm going to try and get the name of this right. It's the Marine Mammal Project. I can't remember the name of them now. So essentially the US have this Marine Mammal Project where they have dolphins that search for mines.
What?
Yeah, dolphins that search for mines. It's fucking blew my mind as well when I saw it. So on the amphib ship, they had these 2 massive inflatable pens were filled with recirc salt water, and there was a dolphin in each pen inside this fucking ship. And what they would use these dolphins for is exactly like a fucking dog. They would get the dolphins, put them on a Zod or a rib, and then they would launch the rib. The rib would go out to fucking sea. And then where they suspected a mine might be, they would then launch the dolphin. The dolphin would go down, look for it, obviously using its passive fucking sonar system.
Yeah.
And then the dolphin would then come back to the ship. It would get a treat. They would get the dolphin back on the ship and then bring it back. And so every morning I was on this vessel, I'd be walking past these dolphins every fucking morning, and these things were just up, chest out, just looking at me. Every fucking... You wouldn't fucking believe it unless you fucking saw it yourself, I tell people this and I'm like, shut the fuck up.
They're supposed to be the smartest creatures on Earth, aren't they?
Yeah, probably.
Them or elephants or something.
Yeah.
But they're pretty fucking smart.
But yeah, seeing that every day, just fucking mind-blowing, we had another fucking cracker of a one. But out in the middle, fucking just off the coast of, wherever the fuck we were, out past San Diego somewhere. And the captain decided to do a swim X. You know what a swim X is, yeah? the ship pulls
swimming exercise.
Yeah, so the ship pulls anchor, but you're deep out to sea, and ship pulls anchor, and then everyone can jump off the ship and go for a bit of a swim. Yeah. And done a fair few of them actually. In my time, we stopped off in the Mariana Strait, deepest part of the ocean in the world. On I think it was Melbourne on my first deployment. Oh no, Darwin, sorry. And out there, and you're swimming out in like blue ocean. It's fucking insane. You know what I mean? So it's such a cool experience. So we got to do it on the USS Pearl Harbor. And you got all these Yanks jumping off the back of this amphib ship, and so they've got to lower the gate, the well gate off the back of the ship, so it drops down. And then there was a little bit of a roll and swell, and they hadn't fully positioned the ship properly, so this big gate was just fucking coming up and down into the water. And they realised, they're like, fuck, that could hit someone. So they're telling everyone to get as far back away from the ship as possible. And they're like, what the fuck do we do? And the divers hadn't yet got to the point of jumping in the water. And the fucking captain's like down here on the well deck going, fuck, we need to go out and start rounding everyone up and go save these boys. And then they looked at us, they all seemed like, guys, can you jump in and give them a hand? And we're like, yeah, man, we'll do it. So we've got our budgie smugglers on. They don't know this yet. We've fucking stripped down into our budgie smugglers, got the Zods, and everyone's just looking at us going, what the fuck? So there's just a fucking bunch of Aussies and budgie smugglers fucking getting the Zods, going around fucking picking up all these Yanks out the fucking water. They were embarrassed to say the least. These boys in speedos are just getting fucking us picked out the water. You know what I mean? Like that's just it's not a part of their fucking culture, you know what I mean? To wear fucking speedos like that. And we're asked to go out and fucking save them. And before jumping in, the first thing you do is fucking strip down, get your speedos on and fucking jump in and go get the boys. So
nice.
But yeah, no, that was a good time. And then got back to Australia. And fucking finished up the end of my career due to fucking one little fucking silly mistake.
Little bump.
Yeah, so when I was in San Diego, picked up a supplement from a sup store, and turns out there was a fucking, I don't know if you remember what it was like back then. Sups had fucking everything. The thing that I was taking had a pro hormone in them.
Did you get drug tested? Don't take this one.
Yeah, that was actually it.
Don't have this protein or pre-workout.
That was literally it, man. I think there was a bit of a thing going on at that point in time, and they did a bit of a blanket test, and there might be some people doing some other things or whatever, but kind of got caught in the mix of it. Tested positive for fucking taking a pro hormone, and next thing you know, I've got fucking notice to show cause and 20 days to fucking argue my case. Being obviously an exemplary sailor for the fucking duration of that time that I served, I was hoping something would swing my way, but tried to get a censure, seals formal warning, reduction in rank, reduction in pay, something, and got the book handed to me, and fucking next thing,
through the book,
through the book, and that was it. Fucking off you go. Catch you later, kill us later. So it was a fucking absolute bummer, a shit way to fucking end an amazing career. Like after doing so much, you know what I mean? Especially being a fucking foreigner joining, the country's military, and and then the stuff that you put yourself through, the fucking arduous fucking bullshit you put up with just for being different and everything else, you know what I mean? And then to have it fucking end on such a shit note, fucking cut deep. You know
so where were you when this happened?
So I was at Waterhen, HMS Waterhen at the dive team at the time when that happened, and then bloody.
How long was it from the fucking
20
blowing the test until the
20 days?
20 days.
Yeah, 20 days. Yeah, so
from blowing positive to fucking RNI, and you got 20 days.
20 days, 21 days, or something like that. Not long at all.
I know. Not long to adjust.
No, it's only 20 days to fight my case, and then that was it. And then that was it. You were out, and then you could fight it when you were out. But I just remember being a whirlwind. Like, luckily, I was able to get out my rental agreement because obviously I wasn't going to be making any money. I managed to get a sofa at a mate's place in Zetland. Fucking absolute legend of a guy. So shout out to Adam Haggist. If he fucking ever listens to this, you know what I mean. He fucking put me in. And I stayed in his sofa. He backed us, you know what I mean? And I did have a good lieutenant at the dive team. He was a logistical officer, and he fought for me, and my petty officer at the time, Shieldsy, he fucking fought for me. But honestly, I think the command structure there just had a fucking jelly back, and whatever was getting pushed from fucking up top, they couldn't fucking argue against. And rather than going into fucking bat for a sailor that had fucking done quite well through his career, they decided to fucking make an example and fucking so
fucking hell. It's one of those cases you're like, of all the fucking things, performance enhancing drugs, you think you'd want your sailors on performance enhancing drugs. Like, these cunts want to be elite. Let's fucking feed them testosterone.
Yeah, so definitely fucking got the short end of the straw with that one, and that I think that was the sort of the one that fucking the straw that broke the camel's back. You know what I mean? That was the one that fucking finally sent it. Like, you go through so much in life. You work fucking hard, you do as good as you possibly can, and then something like this comes around and smacks you in the face, and it's just like a massive wake-up call. And I was lost for a long time after that.
It's a big kick in the nuts, fucking devoting your life to something and fucking giving it everything, and then them just turning their back on you.
Like, I'm definitely past that point now. Like, it took a long time to get where I am now, you know what I mean, to move past like the anger or the fucking... Just
so where'd you go from there? Fucking.
So moved back to Perth when that happened. Obviously, defence pay for you to go back to your next of kin, so they paid for my flights, and then my car and all my belongings got fucking transported across, and then shacked up in my parents' place for a little bit. Got a job working behind a bar. Of all things, just when I got out, I didn't have any sort of ambition initially. It just was like, just try to readjust and figure myself out. So worked in a bar for a little bit. That was a bit of fun. It was just good to take the mind off things. And then eventually I was like, right, okay, let's get back into what you used to do. So started doing shutdown work up in the Pilbara, doing iron ore, mechanical fitting.
How hard, or how long did it take to fucking come to terms with?
I don't think I had came to terms at that point. I think I was trying to forget and push it all down. I think it was like, right, okay, this has happened, what do I do, right? So I put on a mentality of, I'm just going to try and do better and prove to people that I'm fucking not a piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And then for the longest time, actually, come to think of it, I think just before I got out, I'd looked at Canada as an option, maybe moving to Canada or something. But anyway, I was in Perth, and then eventually I went, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to get away for a bit, you know what I mean, just try and fucking forget about all my problems, and ended up booking a working holiday visa in Canada. Right. So I spent 8 months in Perth working iron ore, doing mechanical fitting, doing shutdown work, and then got my visa for Canada and spent 2 years fucking just living up. Had all this golf money, and I was like, oh fuck it, what else am I going to do? And I spent 2 years fucking Revelstoke. Fucking honest to God, man, the best fucking snowboarding I've ever done in my life. You know Canada well. And you've been to Kicking Horse, and you've driven past Revelstoke, you know it, man. But spent 2 years out there just doing snow season and then snow season again. And
just working the lifts.
No, concierge at first, and then I met an ex-British parachute regiment officer who owned a brewery in Revelstoke, a distillery, sorry, and then we got chatting when I was working concierge at the hotel. So then next season I got a job selling gin and vodka for him. So nice. He was a good guy, real good guy. And but I think it was really interesting. So drugs obviously had a lot to do with it. I was partying pretty fucking hard, and I started to grind myself into a bit of a fucking hole when I was over there. And then I think it was on my spring, summer and fall, I was out doing rope access, doing like window cleaning off ropes and stuff or drilling, blasting off cliffs and all that sort of stuff, and working for this Aussie guy over there. And then was doing that, and I think just was on this fucking mad bender on coke or something at that point in time, and it just all hit the fan, and things just fucking...
It's a bit too cheap over there.
Yeah, a bit too cheap. And things just...
Too accessible.
Yeah. I was just doing drinking and drugs to forget, and then it just all caught up to me, and I had a moment of fucking thought that was it. I was going to just finish it off. And
over there?
Yeah. And then I remember just sitting out the back this house I was staying at, just didn't know what to do. I was calling the Canadian what would you call it, the RSL hotline and stuff like that, looking for someone to speak to, looking for someone. And eventually I called my mum back in Australia, and told her. I was just like, I'm not good, you know what I mean? So that one hit hard.
She talked you through it?
Yeah, she did. She was scared. Never heard my mum so scared in my life, you know what I mean? And I think that was a wake-up call, you know what I mean? Just to hear that voice, and you're just like, what are you doing, man? Sort it out, you know what I mean? So, I mean, didn't quite learn my lesson at that point. Ended up going, well, obviously I'm not happy here with what I'm doing. So I went back and did another ski season. I was still partying and stuff like that. And then went back finished that off and then went to Mexico, and then thought, fuck it, I'll just end my fucking holiday, my 2 years of travelling in Mexico, and then was out surfing, and that's when the whole fucking dive thing came back and haunted me a little bit. Like I was out in some pretty hectic waves and just panicking, man, panicking. And I thought I'd gone past all this point, and yeah, that's when that sort of stuff hit me hard. You know what I mean? I was just like, what? Why am I fucking freaking out here? What the fuck's going on? Like I used to bodyboard, all that sort of stuff, dive and everything else, and I'm out in these waves, I'm just freaking the fuck out. And I remember being out there and I just couldn't get back in, caught in a rip. My buddy had to come get me, fucking help me in, and I think the anxiety from that point on just was fucking insane. Like I just did not feel comfortable where I was. And then it got to a point I was just like, I need to go home. There's something wrong here, you know what I mean? And I came back to Australia and then started trying to figure everything out. You know, I was like, what's going on? Started talking to people, psychs, all that sort of stuff. But it still hadn't fully registered. And ended up working for a company that did underground engineer. I was like a mining tech company when I got back, and going underground for the first time. Didn't think anything was going to happen, and just freaked the fuck out, but freaked the fuck out internally. Like, and I didn't show it, and I sat there 12 hours, 1,500 meters under the surface of the earth, just sitting there, just like, you know what I mean? Just freaking the fuck out. Yeah. And I did that job for a year and a half, and every time I go to fucking site, I'd be freaking the fuck out.
Wow.
And I just sucked it up. And I don't know why I did it to myself. I don't. And it eventually...
Just living in fight or flight for
fucking constantly, man. And eventually that broke as well. And I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing? And eventually I started like, I need to fucking figure this problem out. And spoke to someone.
This over in WA? You went back to your parents?
Yeah. And then spoke to someone again. I was just like, and then we kind of all tailed it all back to your childhood history, you know, fucking meat cleaver incident, this, that, and the next thing. You almost fucking died fucking under that ship, the dive thing. Like, I never used to have fucking claustrophobia, man. I'd be sitting on a plane going out to site, fucking just like freaking out, like, you know, tin can syndrome. You know what I mean? Like, I never used to freak out on planes, you know, and then just everything that I shoved down for so long. How do you go
with the ocean now?
I was going I was going quite good for quite some time, so I eventually got back into bodyboarding back in Perth, and I had a sweet local spot. And I used to rip it up anytime there was a good wave. And then I stopped for quite some time. And then obviously moved to Brisbane and whatnot. And I tried to go back out, and the same thing hit me again. Went out with a Navy buddy, trying to go back out into some surf. And it wasn't even that big. It just freaked me the fuck out.
Yeah.
And it's just because I hadn't exposed myself to it in quite some time. So it comes and goes. I think I was in a good headspace when I was doing the bodyboarding for a fair bit. But it's something every now and then, it still fucking rears its hind legs, you know. And I think exposure therapy is, you know, huge for that sort of thing. You know what I mean? But yeah.
So when did you decide to come over here?
When I met fucking Miss Emma Ryan, my missus.
You guys met over there, and
no, we met in Townsville. I was out doing a job for that underground mining company. You know, so yeah, met her when I was doing a job out in Townsville. She was working as a school guidance counsellor over there, and ended up hitting it off. And I was working for a defence contractor back then when I was living in Perth. Thought that was going to be like the go-to job for the rest of my life, and then she didn't want to move to Perth, so I ended up fucking packing it up 4.5 years ago to Brisbane. And then the caveat was,
all for love.
Yeah, all for love. The caveat was I would study. That was a caveat. So I was like, I'd always wanted to fucking get a degree in something, and I finally had an opportunity. This is the third time round as well. I had an opportunity when I first joined defence, and I think I had the aptitude to get in as a engineering officer, but at that point in time, I didn't want that lifestyle. I wanted to be enlisted. I wanted to get my trade. And then this time round, third time's a charm. I was like, right, okay, this is an opportunity. Fucking get your degree. So I've been on a rehab program with DVA, and they offered to obviously pay for the degree and stuff like that. So moved to Brisbane and said to the missus, I was like, right, if I'm coming, this is what I'm doing. So for the last 3.5 years, I've been doing my honours in mechanical engineering, and did that for 3 years, and then last year I wasn't working obviously, and then last year I decided to start work again, so now doing consultancy for a big company, doing asset management. So so it's going well.
So when you got talked off the ledge and fucking decided to get help and stuff, how did you make those steps?
It's all a bit of a fucking whirlwind, to be honest with you. I think there was just more of an eye-opening situation where...
Who did you first make contact with to get help?
It was my mum that made contact with there was this Australian fucking advocacy. It was the Australian military Open Arms.
Open Arms, yeah.
My mum reached out to Open Arms and explained what was going on, and then she teed up a counselling session, and then I did. Actually, that rings a bell. I completely forgot this. So when I was doing my second season, I was doing online counselling from Canada.
Okay.
So at night time, I would jump on it like it was either stupid o'clock in the morning or stupid o'clock at night, and I was doing online counselling with a guy from Perth. Fuck, this is bringing back more fucking emotions, man. So yeah. Eventually, when I went back to Australia, I met this counsellor for the first time. You know what I mean? Fuck, I can't even remember. It's Richard something, was it? Or anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah, this guy, I remember meeting him for the first time, and he'd been such an integral part of my life for like that 6 to 8 months or something. You know, meeting him was quite overwhelming. You know, and then before moving to Brisbane as well, because I'd seen him for the duration of the time that I was back in Perth, and I almost felt like I had that fucking Goodwill Hunting moment. You know what I mean? Going to see about a girl.
Going to see what?
Going to see about a girl.
Oh, yeah.
And just with that counsellor, you know. It was pretty fucking good. Like, just...
He got you through it.
He did, yeah. He was always sort of fucking... And everything wasn't all fucking finished by that point, but it was at a point where it was worked through.
Talked you off the ledge.
Yeah. And we got through the fucking... most of the nitty-gritty stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And obviously a lot of things came after the fact, like self-esteem issues, all that sort of stuff, and like, you know, speaking to other counsellors about imposter syndrome and fucking, you know, just regret with the fucking military thing and holding yourself to such a fucking high standard now that I mean, that was kind of one of the reasons for the degree, was like to prove to myself that I could, you know, and and it's probably not the healthiest fucking thing to do. Like, yeah, great, I'm trying to fucking kick goals, but you know, I think one thing I do struggle with is like slow down, fucking smell the flowers every now and then, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with goals and stuff as long as they're for the right reasons, I guess.
That's it. But no, but he definitely got us to a point of being able to at least fucking talk about it and start to analyse and figure things out and to put a name to things and go, why is this happening? Because for the longest time, I think I just shoved a lot of it down, you know what I mean? And just didn't think about it or forgot about it. And so definitely one of the things they don't tell you when you join, that, you know, when you come out the other end, it may be a wee bit hard, but yeah.
No, it's not part of the recruitment process.
No. And then obviously if I can move to Brisbane, and this is where I met you. Mates for Mates.
Yeah.
And I remember meeting you for the first time. We went to a little...
yeah, fucking Spices, was it?
Spices Ridge or something, Spices Valley, to a little fucking bougie fucking, what do you call it? A little bougie retreat.
Yeah,
yeah. And I spilled my guts to you as well, man.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, but then at the same time, I was like, this guy's a good cunt. I don't want him to be my fucking EP counsellor guy. I want to fucking be mates with this cunt. And then just casually kept turning up to fucking Mates for Mates, and then fucking next thing we're fucking having beers together. You know, and now I'm fucking spilling my guts to you on fucking the podcast.
Learning even more.
Yeah. So
no, those 4-day wellness things were pretty legit, eh?
That was good. Fucking needed it at that time as well. It was good just to fucking be real and fucking just throw your guts out a little bit and just fucking talk shit and get out your system, you know, rather than holding it in. And to do it with fucking, you know, people that are on par with you as well, rather than just sitting there in a fucking clinical counsel room and fucking just talking shit, you know, you're out and with people. And I think that's fucking...
Everybody sharing their story together. And
it's raw, man. Yeah, raw. And I think like doing this now, you know, just fucking having a chat and having a yarn, it's so good because I feel like since then I haven't really had that opportunity. You know, I've been so fucking preoccupied with work, books, everything else. You know, whereas it's like it's good just to fucking reset a little bit. Fucking
someone was asking me the other day if I fucking how much I see of a psych, and I was like, well, I 1 or 2 podcasts a week. It's like a 3-hour therapy session in itself.
You must fucking learn a lot, man. Fair play to you. But you have the patience of a saint as well. Like, I don't know how you do it sometimes, just to be able to sit there and listen to people. You know what I mean? And fucking...
I enjoy the stories, I love it.
Yeah. But not even that. Just when
I almost feel selfish, just fucking...
Not at all. But like when people are down, you just fucking, you're a good ear, you know what I mean? You know, people are comfortable enough, I was comfortable enough to even just sit and fucking have a chat, you know, so you're fucking pretty good at it, man. I take my hat off, so I respect that. Yeah.
I appreciate that. It's
You're welcome.
Yeah. I'm glad that I can be that listening board. And,
no, it's good, man. It's good. No, I appreciate it. And I appreciate the help you gave us, obviously, back then as well. So, no, it's good.
Yeah. No, fuck. Yeah, that was, we got through some pretty heavy shit together at the time. And yeah, like you said, fucking broed down and built a connection outside of
exactly.
mates,
yeah.
It's good.
Fucking chuffed about that one, man. Chuffed about it.
Always good to make a new bro.
Exactly.
All right, man. Well, that's fucking pretty good run.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to chat about? Bring up?
Fucking, I think I've spilled my guts enough now. You know what I mean? I can't think of anything else, you know. So
no, it was good. Fucking cool stories, dude, and fucking thanks for opening up there at the end and
it's all good, man.
Struggles.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that.
Cool.
Glad I could help.
Fucking, I seem to forget about this if I don't do it fucking while the pod's still going, so I'll give them to you now.
Nah.
Some merch.
Oh, you fucking beauty.
You got your front runner merch. I need some shirts.
Do you know, I needed a new key ring for my fucking new motorbike, so that's going on the key. Yeah, beautiful. There you go. And I'll plant this one in the back of the car. So there you go.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Right next to the Pineapple Express.
I need to put one in my car, actually.
Yeah.
I like to go clean skin.
Good stuff. Appreciate that, man.
All right. No worries. Cheers, bro. Thanks for coming.
Cheers, brother. Have a go.